Welcome to Blundstone Arena for a feast of finals footy. It's the TSL final series here in the State South, and it's a wonderful day weather-wise, and I think we're going to be treated to a wonderful day of footy. The feast of footy starts with Launceston up against Glenorchy in the qualifying final, second place third, followed by Costelloe and Clarence in the elimination final. I'm Damian Gill, bringing this one live to you. Alongside me is Brent, Costelloe and Cam Brown. Afternoon, gents.
Afternoon, Gilly. Afternoon, Brownie. You've set it up beautifully, Damo. It is stunning weather here in Hobart today. Two cracking games. Can't wait for it, Cam.
Yeah, and the first one, of course, will be Glenorchy and Launceston. And we were just talking off air, Gilly. Similar final series to last year. 4 teams played in a double header this time last year. But the places are reversed, and on this occasion it's going to be a qualifying final between Launceston and Glenorchy. This time last year it was an elimination, and Launceston got the job done. These two teams played last week, so they'd know each other pretty well, Breno.
Yeah, they certainly will, and who could forget Monty's finals campaign last year? 2 great wins here at Blundstone Arena, wasn't it? So hopefully they can replicate that this afternoon. Some big injury news, though.
Enormous.
Huge news, Damo. Run us through it.
The big news, and we just saw him limping towards the coach's box. That is one Grant, and that is a massive omission. Josh Grant, of course, been their big beast at full back this season. He would have been the likely matchup for Mitch Thorpe this afternoon, the Hudson Medal winner. That is a big blow right before things getting underway, Brownie.
Well, he's had a terrific season. I think the statistics will show he hasn't had more than 3 goals kicked on him all season, and averaging 8 or 9 spoils, and we've been really impressed with him since coming back to TSL footy. Had some time out playing with Clarence. So, yes, he'll be a big blow today for Glenorchy because he's been a very consistent player for them in the back half. He looks a lot more at home than perhaps he did as a forward in his junior career. So the other one, of course, from a Launceston perspective too, Gilly, is Jake Hines. So we know he had a really strong finals series and played very well in this corresponding game last year. Probably played a little bit more mid-forward this year than we've seen him. Last year he was midfield, and they played him across half-back, used his foot skills in the finals so very well. So he'll be a loss today for Launceston as well.
And Mott out of the mix, of course, for the Magpies, so 1 each, and then Josh Grant. I think that is a massive omission. It's the sort of omission. This one was almost a 50-50 toss of the coin type matchup for myself, and I reckon the omission of Josh Grant just about swings it in the direction of Launceston.
Yeah, good call. And Reece Mott too. He's had another consistent season, averaging 27 possessions a game for Glenorchy. So the likes of Mitch Rainbird, who's had a very good season, will need to pick up the slack there, no doubt about that. You'll probably see Webb spend a little bit more time there. We've seen him roll forward a fair bit. Jay Bowden will probably spend significant amount of time in the midfield because they'll miss his ball-winning ability today, Reece Mott.
It's going to be a cracker, that's for sure. As you said, Gilly, it was really a 50-50 game. It is hard to tip, especially given their past matchups this season. But with those outs, it is tough to tip Glenorchy, I reckon. Brady, let's go around the grounds of the AFL. How are your Western Bulldogs going? Because I know Geelong's got a massive lead over the Gold Coast at the moment.
Yeah, a couple of things not going their way, but they're still in front, Brent, by 10 points. So that's a good result from the Dogs in what is a carefree game for them. So they could be a dangerous opponent for the Tigers. Jack Riewoldt has 1 goal at this point, probably should have had 2. So interesting, but what a fantastic day for footy, boys. It's finals footy, and we've got a great double header on our hands, and both coaches would have had plenty of time to prepare, wouldn't they, over almost the last couple of weeks, knowing who, pretty much who their opponent was going to be. The results were pretty predictable last week as Glenorchy come out onto the field.
It's a unique situation, Brownie, where they played each other last week. You would have thought both teams maybe held a little bit back last week and didn't play their jokers, so to speak.
I think you definitely do that if you're both coaches, because there's that element of surprise. You know, you don't want to play your cards too early, as they say, and you want to have that element of unpredictability going into a finals contest. So, if you're thinking about, spinning the magnets a little bit, you probably wouldn't have done that last game. because you just want to, I guess, keep your cards close to your chest. And particularly in a final series, it'd be interesting, no doubt. North Launceston will be here watching this game, Breno, as they were this time last year when they watched both of these games coming down from Launceston to watch all the teams, so they can sort of sit back and plan. They'd probably be hoping that it'll be a really fierce contest and both teams bash each other up a little bit, as they say, and a bit stiff and sore with after the game. So it'll be interesting to see what comes out of this game. But I agree with you, Gilly. I think it's going to be a really close game, and just that loss of Grant, I think, has probably just tipped at Launceston slightly for me.
It's an interesting one, isn't it, last week? Obviously a lot to play for. Lonnie could have hosted this final up there today, but what were they, 40-odd points up last week and only won by 10 in the end. So
there was a stiff breeze that played a factor.
Yes, there was. So, yeah, look, it's going to be fascinating. And just on North Launceston, they've got an interesting month as well, just the 2 games inside the 4 weeks. So I know, listening to Taylor Whitford speak in the lead up to all of that, they were certainly going to train on Saturdays to try and combat the lack of matches that they'll be playing over this month.
So just to confirm, the late inclusion, Aaron Brennan, wearing the 38 this afternoon, comes in for the injured Josh Grant, a big blow. And this will be a fascinating contest. The duel between the two teams has been really interesting this year. Glenorchy ran Launceston very close up at Windsor Park earlier on in the season, then did a demolition job on Launceston on their home patch at KG5, and then we know how last week played out. So the 4th chapter of this tussle will be really interesting to see which way it goes. Also interesting in the pre-game during the Mercury Cup game, Brent Costelloe, you and I noted the impact of Zach Webster was moving pretty well. So he is a significant player today. Next week, if they can get him in.
Yep. Absolutely. There's Jay Blackberry too, just strolling the bounds. I'd love to have him out there today. Clinton French too is not out there playing. We're seeing him walk at the boundary at the moment in his club kit. So
we'll have to get confirmation on who's coming in for Clinton French.
That's a huge blow for Glenorchy. He was wonderful here a couple of weeks ago in that match against Clarence. So real blow for the Magpies there. So 2 big outs.
There's a couple of outs. We didn't get oversight on that one, so that's another significant out.
That's a real shame.
We'll have to see who has come in. Both teams get ready. Launceston have been out there for quite some time warming up. They've been an interesting team this year, Brownie. They've probably got the best squad depth out of any TSL outfit. But they've really struggled to find their best mix in terms of their 22.
And their Mercury Cup form would be testament to that comment, because they've got a lot of players that would be getting a regular game with most TSL teams, but they did have that lull, didn't they? They really lost their form and were managed to pick it up in the back half of the season, which is really important for them. But no, I agree with you. I think their squad of 25 is very strong.
It is indeed. Fascinated how Glenorchy restructure with the absence of Grant. It looks like Parker will go back in the absence of Grant and maybe play that stopping role.
Yeah, just Braden Webb starting on the bench today too for Glenorchy. Don't read too much into that these days, boys, with the heavy rotations. And Harrison Gunther has got the job on Mitch Thorpe.
He's had a terrific season, your boy. So he's on Thorpe. So Gunther on Thorpe. You probably thought they'd like to free up Gunther so he could intercept, but they're obviously worried about the resting ruckman forward, which has been a real inclusion into Launceston's game, of course, with Auckland coming into the mix. And he'll have immediate involvement. Hit out down. It's almost one rather. It's juggled by Boyce. Going nowhere. Slips out the back. Boyce again. They all pile on. It'll be rinse and repeat in the middle of the ground.
Good to see Timmy Auckland back in this side. Spent some time in the Sandford, Brownie.
So away they go from the stoppage. And interrupting Launceston's play is Gunther. Measures a kick. Oh, this one's spilt through hands to Camrick. Camrick rides the tackle. Drops it off. Asks a bit of his teammate there. Rushton sells his teammate into all sorts of trouble in Hodge. They still get it inside forward 50. Joseph through traffic. They'll work it out now through Parker. And he hits the chest of Banks Smith. Away they go, Webb. Should have taken the mark. Perhaps was already thinking about how he was going to use it. Now he's got a problem. The line is his sanctuary.
Purely fumbles here, Brownie.
Yeah, already you just see the game going up a notch. A lot at stake with a chance to play North Launceston next week in second semi-final. So some uncharacteristic fumbles at the moment.
So Duffy and Auckland go at it again. Ball doesn't travel far. We'll have another free kick being paid. Going the way of the Magpies. Perfect conditions for footy, as we said off the top of the show today. Geared, puts it to the wing. Mark couldn't be taken. Rainbird's in there. Good to see him back in the lineup as well for Glenorchy. Missed the game here a couple of weeks ago against Clarence. Gets the free kick. Plays on quickly. Gets the first inside 50 for the Magpies. And Bonnie do well though. Out of defence. Ball not going too far. Everyone crashes in. And now they're away. Webb gets a handball over the top. Still alive. Banks Smith was there, but Lonnie do well to turn it over. Boots thrown on the ball on the boot of Smith. Up to the wing. And a big tackle there. Leadham was wrapped up with it. Play goes on. And the ball will head over the boundary line for a boundary throw-in. So 2 and a bit minutes gone. Opening term.
It's been a fumbly start, Bruno.
It has. We know it lifts the gear in finals, don't we? So we've certainly seen that in this first couple of minutes here. As Auckland tries to smash it down in front. Ball again wrapped up. Shepherd's there. And ball up.
It's a couple of interesting matchups. I think it might be Thomas Mundy that's playing down back at the moment on Jay Bowden.
So Auckland. And now a chance for Launceston, but doesn't go far again. Ryan Banks Smith was in there. Joseph, who of course took out the Media's Award during the week. What a pick-up he's been since coming back from the NEFL.
It looks like Miller Hodge, speaking of Joseph, has got the task on him. That would be a defensive role, I would have thought, on someone who's averaged 23 touches this season for Glenorchy across half-back.
Daly did nicely there, but ends up in the hands of Auckland, who kicks it straight down the throat of Joseph. And now Glenorchy have a little bit of time. They decide to switch the play. Arnold takes the mark at centre-half back. Pops it over to Atkin. Not heaps on offer for him. Decides to play on. Drills it to half forward. Right to the boundary. It might even be out in the full. Touched. Boundary throw in.
Important game for William Atkin. He probably hasn't been able to cement his spot. He's been at the club for a number of years. Played underage football, state football. We know his father was a terrific player, but he gets an opportunity now to potentially play deep in a final series.
Auckland and Duffy, neither makes meaningful contact. Duffy does in the follow-up though. They pick it up, away they go through Banks Smith, Glenorchy. That's a spiralling ball into defence. Vandervelde couldn't quite hold it. Had a decent piece of it. Bowden has his ball blocked. Back now, Webb, if he can get it. He does get it. And nice contact. But into the behind post. And a minor score, the first for Glenorchy. Quick to get going. Launceston through Kelly Mansell, who's made the switch to defence. They move it out of defence now to probably the form player in the competition in Jones. He'll get a free kick. Play goes on though. And maybe they wish they hadn't, as Shepherd has his ball smothered.
Yeah, Chase Jones, you mentioned, Gilly, his last month of footy since coming back to TSL from representing the Allies and earlier the Tasmanian under-18 team has been terrific, regularly in the best one or two players for Launceston.
So back in again. Duffy and Auckland jostle for position. Again, no meaningful contact. That's a decent little run through traffic there. They jump on top though, going nowhere fast.
You mentioned Jones, Brent. He just missed out on winning that media award we spoke about. How was it, really? 2 or 3 votes?
Yeah, extraordinary.
Unbelievable.
Just one down.
Pro rata, he wins it.
They go to hand it out. It's a congested, hot footy at the moment. It'll be a Launceston ball. So it'll be Hodge. There's a lot to look at. Nice ball. Finds Rundle. On the wing, he looks inboard. Finds something he likes in Savage. Skipper of this side, alongside Hamish Leading. Oh, it is Harper, sorry. He goes long. Almost with the one mitt was Thorpe. The pole on top. There'll be a stoppage inside 50.
Slow old start here. A few fumbles as we spoke about.
Up again it goes. Down for the run of Jones. He picks it up. Sees something he likes. Just too much on it for Thorpe. Over his head and out of play.
He read that really well off the hands. Might have been able to just hit that kick on his left foot. Normally really good in those situations.
He's a silky footballer. You may see him out on this ground again, but in a different competition as the ball comes in. Lead him down. It's Webb. Looks to burrow through. Hands back. Duffy with a tackle. Jones goes and gets it. He's caught one high, says Brent Costelloe. Umpire disagrees. Ball up.
Yeah, it looked high from here.
So up it goes. Down from Leadham. It's a hot footy early in this one. To be expected. Finals footy. Camrick's ball over the head of its intended target. Bowden comes and gets it. He's met by a couple. Vandervelde, good tackle. Ball up.
It's clever work from Jay Bowden. Then he's actually out of position, caught behind, but just managed to use his body really well and neutralise the contest.
Duffy comes from a long way back. Finds Webb. Webb moving well. Finds his brother. He's crunched is Atkin. But they've still got the footy here, Glenorchy. It's the pocket rocket, Callum Daly. Just whacks it on the boot. Goes for meterage. Rainbird back in the side. Picks it up. Farms it out. Walker almost. Coming in was Smith for the Blues. He tries to get it out. Auckland in again. It's a hot footy. Over the top. Daly. Punched on from Webb. He follows up his work. Tackle now from Webb. This is good stuff from the skipper. Oh, he might just emerge with it. He's picked it up. Still going. A rolling maul inside 50. Still no goals early in this one at Blundstone Arena.
Great call on Braden Webb there too. In their last passage of play, he was the one that created this stoppage.
So here he is again. Webb has his ball blocked. He's running hot. The skipper throws it on the boot. Looking for someone to come and get it. And he finds a target. Line up for the first of the game.
Well, that's just the benefit of playing in front, isn't it? And I mentioned Braden Webb, not from the... he cleared the stoppage, with some really smart hands and a nice sidestep, which created that inside 50. And then he worked hard to neutralise the contest. And then once again from the clearance. And the benefit of playing in front here.
So young Bailey Bester comes on in. Doesn't strike it well at all. It'll be another minor score. Glenorchy second for the game. They lead by that exact margin.
Both gettable shots too, Breno.
Yeah, it would have been a nice start for him, wouldn't it, to get the first, but they've missed the boat there. There's Lonnie now bringing out a defence. It's a big kick right to the wing, and Arnold went back with the fight, couldn't take the mark. But Lonnie are away, intercepted by Joseph, who's dragged down. It's by Jamison House, and we'll have a ball up.
He's been a good inclusion for them too, boys, Jamison House. He was actually dropped from the Tasmanian under-18 team.
Up it goes again. Auckland. Down. House again. Wrapped up. Fumbly old start here. Hot footy. Daly dives in. Ball not going anywhere.
And just keep your eye on Jamison House. Not overly blessed with leg speed, but what he does is win the footy really well. He's a big size for a man who's just turned 18, I think, and is really creative with ball in hand.
So Geared wins it out. Joseph wrapped up again. Another ball, boundary throw in. So just over 10 minutes gone. 2 behinds to Glenorchy. Launceston yet to score. Beautiful day for football. First weekend of finals. North Launceston awaiting the winner of this clash next week. The loser to play either Clarence or Lauderdale. Lots of space here. Launceston on. Kelly Mansell. Can he control it? Does well. It's a race 2. He's dragged down right in front of us on the wing here, though. Umpire will ball it up. And there's a bit on now.
Great work there by young Adam Roberts.
Very nicely done.
Yeah, that's what they love about him, don't they, Glenorchy? He's very disciplined in that defensive side of his game. Works really hard.
Auckland, House, Jones. Some 3 of the young guns of this team combining beautifully there. Gunther, Duffy, can't control it. Gunther tried to get it back. Joseph, umpire's blown the whistle. Free kick. Going the way of Gunther. He switches play.
Good kick.
And now they're away through Atkin, the Magpies. Daly out in front. He's in a foot race with Tyrrell. And out of bounds. He's done well. He's kept it in. Very nice. Only to the advantage of Launceston, though.
That's ball.
Rundle. And now Walker wrapped up. And a ball up.
Very nicely done there from Callan Daly on the wing. Made something of nothing, really. Well, it was going to trickle out. Gain some meterage.
So Big Leadham came through. And now Rainbird. Again, another ball up. So very slow start to the scoring here in this first final.
We see this a bit in finals, don't we, Brownie? Cagey opening.
Here's Rundle. Gets put to ball. But now Glenorchy. Another inside 50. Mark taken. It is by the superstar, Jay Bowden. He'll have a shot from about 45 metres out.
Yeah, you'd expect him to go back and kick this. And don't underestimate that mark too, boys. He just protected the drop zone so very well. His team probably needs this. They had the better of the chances.
This would get Glenorchy off to a dream start after missing the opening couple. Ball's on its way. It is offline. Minor score.
Never really looked like it, did it? Breno just leant back on it a little bit. Off to the right. Kelly Mansell again with kick-out duties. His move to defence has proved fruitful. Geez, he's tempted fate here. That's out in the full. I tell you what, it had to be centimetre perfect to make that one work. I'm not sure the coach would be all too happy.
I think that's trademarked, that use of slogan, Damo.
Banksmith inside. Bowden takes the grab. The line up for his second shot inside. 30 seconds.
Lovely mark.
Tell you what, again, this
he's
could...
hurt too. He's hurt, boys. This does not look good.
He'll be right, the champ.
Bit of concern, though, from his teammates.
Just put his hand up.
Yeah.
It was a lovely weighted kick from Ryan Banksmith.
It was fantastic. Kelly Mansell's coming off the ground. He might get an earful through the earpiece, you'd think, because this will be a certain Glenorchy goal, whoever does take it.
This could be really big news here playing out, boys, right in front of our eyes.
Yeah, it doesn't look good.
Doesn't look good at all.
For Glenorchy's sake, I hope it's nothing serious, but you'd have to say, at minimum, this looks day done.
Yeah, that's no stinger, is it? That's for sure.
One of the things about his career, he's just been so durable, hasn't he? Rarely misses.
No, that's a fantastic point, Brownie. You don't often see him in the injury column, do you? So,
And he tends to play with
No
niggles. So, as they line on up, I think this is Rowbottom coming in. He was a late inclusion. And he's put it through. So the late inclusion gets the first goal of the game. But a big story unfolding as Jay Bowden limps to the bench.
yeah, huge news.
And it's taking him a while to get off the ground too, boys. So we'll
What do you
try and
think,
keep
Brandon?
people
Looking at an
updated.
ankle, do you think? Or
Yeah,
what?
it looks like that, and he does look in some discomfort there.
Yeah, no,
They'll
that's not,
take him straight.
as you said, Breno, that's not a
Checked out.
stinger.
Yep.
No. Straight down to the lying down too on the massage table there.
Well, Glenorchy just have to try and forget about that, get on with the job. Gee, that's a horrendous bounce. But a good
That's,
finish from Rowbottom, though. It was really important for Glenorchy because they've had the majority of the play, certainly inside 50, and some gettable chances.
looks in a lot of discomfort. Jay Bowden will keep an eye on that as we restart in the middle. And Glenorchy, another inside 50 here. The big torp goes to the pack, and nice mark taken with Vanderveld. And now Lonnie are away. House takes a big grab. Geez, a big boy, isn't he?
Yeah, that's what I said. He's a
Powerful
big unit, but he's very creative with hand and foot, boys.
So House drives it long. Arnold's there, but the Lonnie player's out in front. Riley, now Gunther. Throws it on the boot. House again is there. Launceston get the footy. Dakin, and now House again. And now Chase Jones. What a star he is. Gets boot the ball just inside 50. Salter for the Magpies though. Hits up Webb. Webb plays on super quickly, and this might be a mark. It is, but to the wrong player. And the mark taken there by Mundy. Plays on quickly. Which is played to the opposite side of the ground. Boyce is there. Collects. In a bit of trouble. Gets the handball away though. Does well. And now Taylor. From behind. The mark wasn't taken by the Pies. And now Gunther again. Just evades the tackle. Joseph. Big tackle from behind there from Dakin. And it's like a ball up.
So left ankle is being assessed of Jay Bowden.
Devastating news. Such a loss too. We know the outs they've got today already. The Pies in French and Grant. Add Jay Bowden to that. The task is very, very tough.
I don't think anyone's more flat than you. As Joseph looks to hand it out, try and get it back. There's a whistle. I'm not even sure Jay Bowden is as flat as Brent Costelloe right now. Really just noticed the change in your enthusiasm.
It's hard to concentrate when you've got to keep one eye on the bench and one eye on the game.
Just look at the bench for now. I'll call the action as the ball comes back in. Auckland down. Camrick almost slipped through his fingers. Lonnie look to emerge now, and they'll get a free kick, which will help their case. It will be Rundle. Sam Rundle has an option short and Smith. Usually good by foot. Inside 50 into the pocket. Doesn't find its home in Riley. Joseph does well. Spinning. Can't find his target in Camrick. Out for a throw in. So Lonnie still yet to trouble the scorers here, which is quite baffling given the scoring power in this.
It is, isn't it? It's only time on.
We probably need to assess the wind. The ball comes in. Swatted down by Duffy. They emerge now through Webb. He's got Camrick. Tracks it down, brings it under his spell, goes back. They just try and power it out. There's a free kick, though, off the ball, and it's going to go to Chase Jones. Not the bloke you want to have a free kick.
There's a slight wind going to the right of screen Glenorchy's way, Damo, so that may have something to do with it.
It's a very good kick of the footy, Chase Jones. I think this would be right on his
and 50.
distance. It won't be now.
So it doesn't matter what his distance is now, Brownie. He's going to put through Launceston's first of the day.
Well, I'm not sure what happened, Gilly, why the 50 was it off the ball by the look of it. So that's just what you don't need if you're Glenorchy, because as we mentioned, Launceston, we're 20 minutes into the first quarter, they haven't scored, and then just to cough one up easily is a real body blow for them.
So Chase Jones wanders on in, easy as you'd like. That is the first of the day for Lonnie. Just 3 points adrift now here at Blundstone Arena.
He's had a strong season, hasn't he? The All-Australian, under 18 level.
Some support here, the Blues too.
Yeah, good numbers.
Horns going off.
Certainly some clubs, AFL clubs would be here today. So certainly saw Adelaide coming across, taking advantage of the double header, and no doubt Chase Jones would be a player they would be drilling down on.
Hawthorn here, are they?
Hawthorn are here.
Good. Up we go again. Walker into the ruck for Glenorchy. And punched forward by Webb. And now Glenorchy away through Walker. Tied up, wrapped up. And a great tackle. Is holding the ball. So Lonnie to get possession.
It's going to be another 50.
Another 50. This is very undisciplined stuff here from Glenorchy.
Costly stuff when you factor in that breeze you were talking about, Breno.
Absolutely.
And the injury to Jay Bowden.
Yeah, silly stuff indeed.
Just don't need these red time goals.
So House is the man with the footy. He goes short and a mark taken. So this is really costly stuff for the Magpies, and Joby Harper will line up directly in front.
Sorry, Brent, that's what I was talking about Jamison House. He's very creative and had the ability to lower his eyes and didn't blaze away and just rewarded the incoming lead from Joby Harper.
Joby Harper, fantastic inclusion to this Launceston side. He's made no mistake there. Back-to-back goals for the Blues, and they've hit the lead.
Well, he's had a good season, particularly in the back half, Gilly. Really controlling centre-half back. We know he's got a good footy pedigree. Spent some time away. But, terrific player at South Launceston and at under-18 level. He's become really mature. He's always had a great tank and can run aerobically really, really well. And to push down and get a goal from the back half is a real bonus. Beautiful spot-up kick from Jamison House. Liked his start to this game.
So in a blink of an eye, a 9-point lead becomes a 3-point deficit. It's back in the middle, punched away by Walker. It wasn't the best bounce. Brownie not happy. There'll be a stoppage. It'll be thrown up. Sun-drenched Blundstone Arena. Fantastic day for footy. This, of course, the first of two finals. Auckland. From behind, Walker got contact to it. Big house bustles through. Finds Auckland. Had a bit of time and space. Paul Freeman finds a target. Unfortunately, it's the opposition. And it's Gunther, who started well. Picks out his target in Webb. Flies for the footy. Good contest there with Tyrrell. Emerges with it. They power forward through Dakin. Punching away was Salter. Pick it up. Paul Freeman maybe caught one high. Yes, says the umpire. Play goes on. Smith looks at goal. He eyes the sticks and he finishes off. Lonnie are on song here. They've turned the game.
I think this time last year, Jake Smith found his way out of the team for finals footy, but he's an important player for them. Can run off half back and can finish like he did then, and can do some damage, and that's a body blow. The last 3 or 4 minutes since that 50-metre penalty, Launceston have able to slam on 3 goals in 3 or 4 minutes on the back of some really good work. They're winning the clearances at the moment, boys. They're just out muscling the Pies in those contested situations.
Yeah, remember back to last year's finals campaign for Launceston. They had a dream run here at Blundstone Arena in the first couple of weeks, and they're off to a fine start this afternoon. We're not going too far here. Almost 24 minutes gone. 9-point lead to the visitors.
It's interesting in the rucks for Launceston with Leadham and Auckland, really pure ruckman. So they'll be trying to share those duties.
Massive punch from Duffy there. Went straight past Rainbird. Now collected by the Blues.
Kelly Mansell. Look
Has
at
a
that.
bounce. Bit of magic there from the superstar. Kelly Mansell finds Thorpe. Hudson medalist. Drives it long inside 50. Who's on offer? It's Riley. Can't take the mark. Ball still alive. Just for the moment before the umpire blows the whistle. He's paid a free kick here, actually. It's going the way of Glenorchy. And Arnold will take it.
That's a good matchup, boys, isn't it? Those boys, Arnold on Riley.
Here's James Webb. Love him as a player. Goes to the wing. Daly flew back with the footy. And now the Blues again. They're attacking at the moment. Gunther's there. Thorpe's there. Gunther beats Thorpe to the footy. Gets boots a ball. Hatkin now has space all on his own to pick it up. Does just that. Puts it on the boot. A big booming kick, and it finds Duffy. Spots him up beautifully.
Jeez, I reckon the whistle was just blown a little bit early there.
So Glenorchy needs someone up presenting. That's why he hesitated. No one is leading up.
They'd love a goal here before quarter time, the Magpies. And mark taken by Launceston. Oh, here we go, though. The Pies turn it over. Boots a ball. It's top of the square. Won't take the mark. They can, but it's a Launceston player.
It's a terrific mark.
Good mark from Shepherd.
So Shepherd brings it out of defence. And now Jones. That goal earlier this quarter. Right up here in front of us on the wing. Thorpe does really well. The drag down. And it's called for a throw.
They're into each other.
He might have been better off letting it just go out of bounds there, the veteran. He did pretty well on a 2-on-1, but just got caught.
So Rainbird back in the team. Important player for the Magpies. especially now with 3 of their best out this afternoon. Pack forms, and it's all Auckland, but he's smacked it out. And
Cries for deliberate, but I don't think it was.
It would have been a harsh call.
So 25 and almost 26 minutes gone now, Breno. Dying embers. A goal here would be handy.
yeah, it would. Can't be too long left, you wouldn't think. Just the 4 goals kicked this term as it comes back in. Auckland, one on that occasion, and now House. And now there's a bit of space here. There was for Launceston. Does well, Taylor. He's pushing the backwards. The umpire let it go. Eventually we'll have the ball up.
Joseph underneath that, just crunched.
They were goal side, then the Launceston half forward, so if they were able to pick up that cleanly, they were away.
So Duffy now, fist down. Immediately claims they're going nowhere. It was Webb. He started well, leading from the front. Unfortunately, they're a charger down at the moment with Jay Bowden. Injuring an ankle. House just burst through. Polfreeman, delightful. Eyes goals off the right. Oh, yes! Launceston with another right on the edge of quarter time. And that is a body blow.
Yeah, absolute body blow. And they're kicking accurately. 4 goals straight, just able to break away from the stoppage and finish. And he's a terrific player, Brody Polfreeman. Won the Young Player of the Year, I think, from a few years ago when he's at South Launceston in his early days at TSL level. Probably Gilly hasn't had the season that he had last year, but having said that, a very consistent player nonetheless, and that's a terrific finish.
It's a real stinger. Oh dear.
And that's a real stinker.
That's quarter time, and it is all Launceston after a pretty good start by the Magpies. 4 straight 24 plays, 139 at quarter time.
Well, they kicked 4 goals in 8 minutes, Glenorchy, and it was on the back of a 50-metre penalty that Chase Jones scored their first goal. And Glenorchy, although they weren't necessarily putting it on the scoreboard with the pressure they were creating, they would have been pretty keen with their 9-point head start. And after Rowbottom kicked that goal, Jay Bowden went down, and just on Jay Bowden, he looked like before he was trying to put a bit of weight on that ankle, but you would think he's done for the day. He's got the jacket on. He looks like he's trying to get out and support his teammates, but that's a real story there, because you would have thought coming into this game that for Glenorchy to win, particularly with a couple of omissions, they were looking for a 4 or 5 goal performance from him. So other players have to step up now.
They do. Let's have a quick look at the goal kickers. 4 for Launceston, as we said. Chase Jones with 1, Joby Harper as well, Jake Smith and Brody Polfreeman, as we just saw before the quarter time break there. And the only goal kicker for the Magpies, Brody Rowbottom.
Yeah, so a hot start for Launceston. Most of the quarter belonged to Glenorchy, but they roared home the Blues, and they're in control of the contest. 4 straight 24. Leads Glenorchy 139. Big story is the Magpies. French and Grant out before the ball was bounced. And Jay Bowden interestingly injured in that first term and unlikely to participate in the 3 quarters to come. Stay with us. We'll be back with a second term shortly.
Get in, maintain the rage, please.
Back now for quarter number 2 here. Drenched, Blundstone Arena. Really fascinating opening term. Glenorchy were in charge early, and then Launceston really bounded into the break in complete control. The big story, that aside, is Jay Bowden. It looks unlikely to take any further part in this game, Brent Costelloe, and maybe not just a story for today, but the rest of Glenorchy's finals campaign.
Absolutely, yeah, it doesn't look good. Hasn't moved from that bench he's sitting on down there. So definitely done for the day, and it would appear maybe season.
Yeah, you'd hope not, because it makes the task very hard for Glenorchy to back up next week up against the winner of Lauderdale and Clarence if they were to go down today.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, let me finish. But the game's certainly not done here, Brent. Lonnie, I will say, though, were very impressive in the latter stages of that quarter. They've got prime movers on just about every line, Brownie, which is probably why we've had really strong expectations on this group.
Yeah, and look, there's still, we mentioned Jay Blackerbury out of that team. Who's obviously done for the season, and Jake Hines will get back into this team if potentially.
So back in the middle.
Nice bounce.
That is better. It's down from Duffy. The ball ping-ponging around. The only one to lay claim to it was House. His handball not great. He might be able to mop up his work. He's crunched in a tackle held without it, says the umpire.
Gee, I would have thought it was nearly holding the ball.
I thought the same as you there, Brownie. The big House emerges. The big boy. Long and strong. Good kick for the advantage of Thorpe. And he gobbles it up.
As soon as I saw that kick in the air, you just felt that was just going to carry over the back. And with all his experience, Mitch Thorpe, was the first time he had a really good one-on-one on Harrison Gunther. And he just nudged his opponent fairly underneath the footy and took the mark.
That's experience, isn't it, Brownie? He's done that
Absolutely.
a lot of times over the journey. Fantastic kick from House. So Thorpe now. Line up for the opening goal. The second quarter, a bit of a staggered approach. He steadies, crosses the paint of 50. Looks good off the boot. He likes it. The fingers up straight away. And that is Launceston's 5th of the game. They've kicked 5 straight. They lead this one 5 straight 30. Plays 1-3-9 Glenorchy.
Well, you mentioned in the run-up a staggered approach. I just thought he lost his step a little bit there. I was half expecting him to go back, but he composed himself, and he knew as soon as he got that connection off the boot that was going through. Harping on it a little bit, boys, but Jamison House is doing some real damage. Someone's got to lock down on him. He's been extremely creative today.
Yeah.
Beast.
He's huge.
Well, it's a difficult matchup. He's the midfielder, the big-bodied midfielder that we see in the AFL these days that is hard to stop.
Auckland had hands on it that time, and now here they go again. Not too far. Yeah, he's a huge boy. House. It's been great to see these players come into the Launceston lineup. Again, the ball not travelling too far from the restart position. Umpire let it go though, and now they're away here. Launceston, good tackle. Got the handball away. Webb wrapped up, got boots of ball in the air still. Go and get the clean possession.
Throw.
Umpire's called a throw. And
It's against Rushton, I think, yes.
Glenorchy will take the kick. And it goes inside 50. They need a goal here, the Magpies. What can they do? But it is all Joby Harper. Takes a nice mark. Goes short. And the kick's not great. Can the Magpies turn it over? Not on this occasion. Lonnie do well to get it out of danger. And now they've got some space here. Riley's on his own. Thorpe's on his own. What will the option be? It is Thorpe. Takes a nice mark out in front.
And who was the kick? The outlet kick once again from Jamison House, and brilliant footy from Chase Jones to run, carry the footy, and then just pick the correct option, which was the experienced one in Mitch Thorpe. Great transition from Lonnie.
Look for the celebration early here from Thorpe. Tough angle. Can kick a goal though, we know that. He's kicked more than anyone else this TSL season so far. In he strolls, and it's offline minus score.
They just want to quieten down Thorpe, maybe find an extra. This is not one you want to give a few chances to. Generally takes them as Joseph powers this one outside 50. Geez, that's a big kick. Wind assisted, perhaps, as Kelly Mansell does well, does really well. Opts to go inside. That's a terrific kick for Jackson. And straight away, Glenorchy back under the pump.
Yeah, it's Ethan Jackson, the Burnie product. He had a pretty solid season, didn't he, Gilly, at underage level this year. Had some games with the Allies and has come back and played his footy now with Launceston. This is an issue perhaps in his game.
Ethan Jackson, no issue on this occasion. Through the sticks. And this is getting away from Glenorchy.
Certainly is. 6-1-2, kicking really straight, the Blues. And the Magpies stuck on 139 at the moment, have been for a while. So they're desperate for a goal, Brownie.
Yeah, it's a good response there from Ethan Jackson. Had a fairly quiet first quarter, but we know he can certainly rack up the footy. Very good in a clearance situation. Quite creative by hand. Kicking has probably been his issue throughout the year, but a nice finish.
So 5 minutes gone, second term. Big lead now to Launceston. 28 points, in fact, as Glenorchy try and get one out of the middle. Here's Camrick. Loads up on the paint of 50. Can he spark his team? He can! Benny Camrick. Nice goal.
Well, it's an important goal and well worded too. Spark. That's what Glenorchy needed, because Launceston had slammed on 6 in a row in a pretty short amount of time. And it's an important goal for Glenorchy. And just looking now with Jay done and dusted, they're going to have to try and create some goals, whether that's out of the midfield. Mitch Walker, perhaps he needs to stand up. He's just gone to full forward at the moment. Can he get up and catch the footy and just ignite this team?
It's a good call, Brownie. Obviously no Jay Bowden for the rest of the day, so they'll need someone to stand up. Bounce now. That's a lovely bounce in the middle. Auckland down for the runners. Coming through is Dakin. Nice by hand. Auckland, a touch bouncing ball. Picked up by Atkin on the burst. Good kick for Banksmith in the end. He drops the footy though. Should have taken that. Now he's caused himself all sorts of trouble. Hands back in the middle. They're under the pump again here. Taylor couldn't gather. Coming in was Camrick, I think. He hands out. Webb. Joseph. Gunther now. He'll be under Rushton pressure. Maybe cleverly didn't take the ball. Stevenson now on the outside of the boot. A bouncing ball for Rowbottom. Does well. Taps on. Roberts now in a foot race. Vandervelde deals with him. And boundary line.
A couple of minutes here for Glenorchy. I'd love to kick the next couple just to get some momentum and generate some energy amongst their team.
A bit more energy in this game already, I think, Brownie, from that last goal. The second, you're right. Could be a fire starter for them. And it goes, Auckland tapping down. Claimed in the tackle. Out the back. Paul Freeman does well to gather. Hands over the top for Taylor. In the bullseye. He's got a problem. Banksmith across. Got support in Daly. Oh, he's tackled. Riley. Good defensive pressure from the forward. Comes onto the wing. Webb rides a tackle. He's gone. Holding the footy. I think it's Savage on the outer side. A long, booming kick in the direction of Riley. Deals with his opponent. Hands over the top. Rushton now. The little crummer has his ball blocked. Leadham, the big fella, leans over to pick it up. Runs out of tarmac.
Game's opened up a little bit. Just in the back half of the first quarter and early part of the second quarter. It was pretty tight, wasn't it? The first 20 minutes of this game where both teams struggled to find some time and space and be creative by hand and foot.
So in it comes again. Duffy with a strong hit out. Thorpe tries to find some space to shoot. Comes in the direction of Smith and he helps himself. So a goal from not much at all. And again, Launceston just open up that buffer.
Yeah, they didn't need that from a Glenorchy perspective. A quick reply from Jake Smith, who's been handy. By my recollection, Breno becomes the first multiple goal scorer of this game. As is the custom now, straight to the bench.
Don't get me started, Brownie. Sports.
Get him started,
that.
Brownie.
Yes, he doesn't like that. Pressure on this bounce, boys.
28-point margin in favour of the visitors. I'd love to take on their crosstown rival next week at UTAS Stadium. At the moment, it looks like that may be the case. The loser to play the winner of our second match today between Clarence and Lauderdale. Can't wait for that one too. The two arch rivals going head to head as Rainbird tries to get it out.
It would also make certain that this year's grand final will be at UTAS Stadium.
Good call. Very good call. So we'll know that in an hour and a half's time or so. Rainbird throws it on the boot. Inside 50. No one could take the mark for the Magpies, and Launceston do well. Rundle tried to get it out. Rainbird was there. Webb's in there too. Taylor, though, for the Blues. But here he goes Rowbottom. Webb. Rowbottom again. Launceston do well, though, to get it out of danger. Kick off out of the air. Now a foot race again. Oh, well done. Brody Palfreyman kicks it forward. Hits the chest of Dylan Riley. He goes short again, and the Blues have done really well here.
Mitch Thorpe's on. No.
So it's Hodge with the footy. He's going to back himself in here by the looks. Yeah. Wasn't that just electric stuff from Palfreyman?
Well, that's what he can do.
Oh.
Just seems to read off the hands and accelerate, and most importantly, by foot, hit up Dylan Riley, who quickly moved the ball on to Miller Hodge.
So Hodge, this would really put a dagger through the Magpies, and we're only 10 minutes into the second term. Miller Hodge, what can he do? Looks pretty good off the boot. It's just bend away the last minute.
He liked it early, didn't he?
He did. I did too.
Bottom age player from Launceston. Jared Dakin's another one playing in this game. Glenorchy have a couple themselves today.
So 11 minutes gone. And it comes again. Kick is looking for Gunther. Finds him, but couldn't hang on to it. Straight to the ground. Wait for a whistle here and get one. So the crowd so far, pretty vocal. Expecting it to increase too for the second match this afternoon.
Significantly, you'd think, Brent.
It'll be amazing. Later on, the atmosphere will be fantastic as Rainbird punches it. That could be deliberate.
Absolutely.
And it is. So Launceston will get the kick here through Taylor.
Now,
just watch where's Thorpe. He's out the back. Top of the square. That's where he heads. Just falls short. Riley couldn't take the mark. Thorpe has it now. No, he doesn't. Ball just not going too far. And we'll have a ball up. So, yeah, another goal here.
We've got to just watch closely here. Could be going from the stoppage, I reckon. No, it comes out the back. Picking up and crunched in a tackle. Was geared. Thrown in again. Sorry, it's Parker. So a lovely day for footy. So far, a lovely day for Launceston supporters. Ball comes in again. Duffy and Auckland. Auckland, a good hit out. Was looking for Rundle. Interrupted by Rainbird. He's claimed in a tackle.
It's where teams are just so good now, defensively set up to lock the ball inside your forward 50.
So hit out again from Auckland. Nice offhand. Gunther does well. We've got a couple of Magpies here. They just need to navigate it. Banksmith probably gave the ball that wasn't needed. Rowbottom does well, though. Banksmith now claimed in a tackle, going nowhere. So 2-3-15, 7-2-44 as it stands. And Glenorchy with a mountain to climb. Duffy with a hit out, but emerging with it was Rundle. Kicking the advantage of Riley. Couldn't quite gather, but gets a crumb. Finishes off. Oh, it looks like it's going to be Launceston's day.
Well, if you were going to say who's been the more consistent players at TSL level over the last 3 or 4 years, I reckon Dylan Riley would be right up the top of your list. He's a versatile player, can win the footy in the midfield. We've seen him in his early junior days sweep across half-back. And good move from Sam Lonergan, hasn't it, to push him deep. It's a perfect fall alongside Mitch Thorpe. And that was just a classy finish. And he won't get a lot of opportunities against a player today in Josh Arnold, who's had a terrific season himself. So it's been an enjoyable matchup, that one.
All the work ahead of Glenorchy in there without 3 of their best soldiers. Jay Bowden, the story, out for the game, and Clinton French, Josh Grant didn't make the team this afternoon. So they trail this one now by 35 points. It is going to be very, very tough from here, despite there being a long way to go, as we see her holding the ball. Hey, and Joseph will take the footy inside the centre square to the wing. Not his best kick, but puts Bank Smith under pressure. Joseph gets it back, drives it forward. Mark taken by Duffy.
He won't miss 2 targets, Daniel Joseph, in a row.
So Camrick now kicked a goal not long ago for the Magpies. Mark couldn't be taken. And now Launceston try to bring it out of defence, but they get held up. They have the ball up.
Wasn't a bad kick from Camrick there, Brownie.
Oh, it was.
Just
kick, goal side.
I don't know whether the sun got in the eyes of Roberts, I think it was.
Up it goes again, tap down. Still a beautiful sunny day here at Bell Reef. Tipping it's going to get a little bit cold later, boys, as Jay Bowden, we see him on crutches now, leaving the ground on the boundary. Very sad sight, that. See one of the best players in the comp, as we see Webb drive it inside. And now here's Daly. Daly puts it on the boot, and it's offline. Gee, they needed that.
I think you needed that. Obviously, you're flat about Bowden, but we know you're a big fan of Callum Daly. Might have just made up for it somewhat. It's Kelly Mansell now. Just runs round 1. Goes long to the wing. Vandervelde almost through his hands. Jackson tries to gather. Rushton picks it up. Hands off for Shepherd. Shepherd now looks forward and sees Riley. Riley, good body work on Arnold. Keeps riding it. It's done well here, Riley. Looks inside.
Jones.
Handball in the Jones direction. Here he goes. Finds some space. Off the left, a bouncing ball. Not his best. Offline.
He was standing there for a while, wasn't he, Breno?
Yeah.
Looming large. There's Jones there. So Gunther now with the kick-out duties. Bit of noise in the arena. Comes long beyond the arc. Duffy, the target. Just punches away from his opposing ruckman. Be throw in.
How's Harrison Gunther looking draft-wise, do you think, Brownie?
Oh, look, you would think Harrison's got some really good attributes, hasn't he? He always looks balanced. He's a nice mover. Probably not blessed with leg speed. But having said that, he's a really good decision maker. He's had a terrific season. Lots of intercept marks, and spalling has been a feature of his game. So you'd think there'd certainly be some clubs that'd be interested, perhaps from a rookie perspective, Breno.
So Smith couldn't quite get it inside 50, had his ball blocked, and follow up with a good tackle from Hodge.
I would have thought he'd be high up in the best and fairest for Glenorchy in the top 2 or 3 from what we've seen. He's had a wonderfully consistent year.
Rounding through now was Jones. Couldn't quite make his way inside 50. Camrick, his ball blocked. Jones will get another look at things. He has a look at the sticks. Offline. Chase Jones. Electrifying player.
He just plays with such great energy, Chase Jones.
So a little one from Arnold. Finds his target. And geared now for Camrick. So this is a measured build-up from Glenorchy.
This is the concern, though, boys, for mine. We're nearly 50 minutes into this game and just 2 goals scored for Glenorchy. Just struggle to see where the goals are going to come from.
It's been a concern all season for mine. If it's not Jay, who is it? And Clinton French provided another option, but he's out of the side today as well. So they've got some headaches on their hands, the Glenorchy coaching staff. It's a nice ball from Stevenson, finds its target in Brennan. outside rather. He finds Joseph. Long powering boot. Pack forms down from Duffy. Try and pick it up through Webb. It'll be a stoppage.
You mentioned Clinton French there, boys. He was the one that got him going a couple of weeks ago in that game against Clarence. So they would love someone like him out there this afternoon.
So down for the runners here for Launceston. Dakin farmed it out. It's just bouncing forward from a Mundy kick. Here is Rushton. That's high.
Costelloe was worried, wasn't he, about the burst of speed that we've seen Rushton exhibit.
No question.
He was looking to give it off, boys, but
maybe the distance a problem here, Brownie. Now he's settled in. I wouldn't be surprised if this one lands short. There we go. The run comes.
see, I just love that kick because Glenorchy had numbers back, smart play to lead up with the ball carrier, and most importantly, reward him just with a little dinky 15-metre kick. Knew his limitations, and suddenly Launceston have a shot on goal. It was the second opportunity for this quarter for Miller Hodge.
Yeah, Hodge, he's looked good. He's gone a long way back for this set shot. And Miller Hodge looking to steer through the 9th for Launceston, 5th of this quarter. Leans back, never looked like troubling.
Good call, Gilly. He leant back on the kick. His weight wasn't transferring through the footy. And it's normally the case when you do that, you pull it right for a right footer.
So I've hit time on in this second term. The lead is a big one. 37 points. The advantage of Launceston as they go to the wing. Punched out. See a few of the Clarence and Lauderdale colours falling into the ground now watching this game. Obviously, they'll be very keen onlookers given they'll play one of these teams next week, whoever wins that game this afternoon. So we wait the ball in. And it comes now. Auckland out in front. Geared. Now Camrick. Making his spot. That's a shocking kick. It's out of bounds on the full.
Maybe the one knock on Camrick is just one of the knocks is he's a bit untidy.
Had a great season though.
No doubt.
As it comes back in. Punched away by Duffy. Yeah, it's been a roller coaster year for the Magpies, hasn't it? They've had patches of brilliant form, patches of poor form. Paul Kennedy, the coach, acknowledged that a week or so ago. When they're on, but when they've been off, they've been off. So they're down a few key soldiers today, which makes it that little bit tougher, but they just need some goals here. Goes without saying as we see a big tackle over the boundary line.
The game's maybe just hit a little bit of a flat spot here.
It has, and this is how it sort of was like this that first 20 minutes, as you said, Brownie, but it was only those undisciplined acts from Glenorchy that really set the game off, wasn't it?
And the difficulty for them, they just haven't been able to win enough of the footy to get it inside 50, convert, or conversely, just lock it in there until they do score.
Here you go, Launceston House. And now at the back, Duffy gets the handball out. And Glenorchy just need to get it forward. They do that. And no one can take the mark though. Bouncing ball, bouncing ball. Here's a chance now for Camrick again. He's on the paint of 50, gets it inside. Mark, Kelly Mansell. And out the back, row bottom, off the ground, goal, and a much needed one for the Magpies. The late inclusion snags one, and that's their third of the afternoon.
Well, that's his second. It probably wasn't the best kick. Was it Camrick from hard up against the boundary line? He certainly did the right thing in trying to centre the footy. But it was a good contest there from the Glenorchy play just to neutralise it. Might have been Bank Smith, was it? And was it Bank Smith?
No, Roberts actually.
Roberts, sorry, thank you. And the right spot at the right time, socket off the ground from row bottom. So 5 goals from a Glenorchy perspective. You'd love to just get another couple and go in with some confidence at half time.
Some big news here too, which Rainbird now hobbling on the boundary. Hopefully that's just a little stinger.
Hit out one comfortably. Rundle looks to run onto it. Good pressure coming again. It's been a hot footy today. Smith farms out a handball. Not a bad one at all. Causes Boyce some issues though. Glenorchy back inside. Good tackle coming from Auckland. That'll bring a halt to it. The goal was namely set up from that long Joseph kick as well, Brownie. He's such an orchestrator for them. As it's one down, Daly almost. Maybe shouts following the ball. Duffy tackled and brought down. Looked to emerge through Smith. He just throws it up. Punched away. Well done and kept alive, but it's all Launceston. Savage emerges. Comes across as the third man up. His kick is a shocker. That'll let in Glenorchy. A better period for the Pies here. With the skipper, Braden Webb. Hard up against the boundary. Offering on was Gunther. Good lead. And the journey from 50 might be a big ask for Harrison Gunther.
Launceston have got numbers back. Auckland's back. Vandervelt's back. So if he blazes away, it mightn't be easy from Glenorchy.
So he goes out to get himself a little more distance. But unfortunately, it's let down the kick out in the full. So as you said, Brownie, all the numbers back there. They're very well set up, Launceston, defensively. Boyce now, long, outside of defence, fisted away. Picked up nicely. Looking for the couple of options. There's a whistle. I'm not sure who this is against. But it's going to go the way of young Bailey Bester. He's had one shot this afternoon. They do well to find the outnumber Launceston. I thought they'd cut that one off well because they had actually two extras in the contest, but unfortunately an infringement has brought them undone. So it'll be young Bailey Bester. Should make no mistake from here and might give Glenorchy a bit of life with half-time in sight. Yep, no mistake at all for Bester. Puts it through, 2 in a row for Glenorchy. Much better.
Well, that's important for them. Margin back to 25 points, and it was a strange free kick. Launceston had the numbers. It was a 2-on-1 situation, and they seemed to look like they were going to control it in the air. So we just talk about it all the time, don't we, boys? Red time, just how important it is.
They've cut it to 4 goals, Brownie, which is not insurmountable.
No, credit to them, and still probably some upside in some of their players that have been a little down.
So just a quick one, boys. Harper's spent quite a bit of time on the sidelines trying to do run-throughs. Before that, he was doing a lot of stretching, so it might be a slight concern for Sam Lonergan and Launceston.
Won't be too much longer left in this second term. A few goals have been kicked though, so might be a little longer than we suspect as Glenorchy go again through the skipper. Gets it off to Banks Smith. Banks Smith handballs over the top. And now Glenorchy. Oh, I can't take the mark because Taylor gobbles it up for Launceston. Who's he got on here? Kelly Mansell. Doesn't take the mark. He was pushed aside by Joseph. And now Glenorchy inside 50, but no. Vanderveld collects on the last line of defence.
Gee, you read that well, Vanderveld.
Oh, he didn't kick that well though, Brownie. Does well to get back in there though, but coming through the Magpies. No touch, so they just can't get a break here. No one can take a break, to be fair. Vanderveld again. And umpires blowing the whistle. Free kick going the way of him. Actually, Kelly Mansell will take the kick. Pops it sideways. So, a few missed opportunities there for the Magpies, and that would have made things really interesting heading into half-time if they could jag another there. And they still might here. But still with their advantage. That a high tackle?
In his back, I reckon.
Yes, it is. It is. So, free kick here to Braden Webb, the skipper of Glenorchy. If he can successfully convert this makes things really interesting.
Yeah, you'd be filthy if you're Sam Lonergan the last 4 or 5 minutes, just from decision making and some errant free kicks being given away, and you just give the opposition a sniff. when you see, seemingly had the game in your grasp 5 minutes ago, and Glenorchy have the opportunity now to kick, 3 in a row, Gilly? Well,
And
this is
there's
important
the
now.
siren. I think the sun's causing Webb a little bit of havoc here as well. As he comes in, a much-needed goal right on half-time. It's offline, unfortunately, for the Magpies. Just the 1 point makes it 4 straight. Advantage of Launceston at half-time.
He didn't look like he had some momentum going through there, Braden Webb, and almost looked off, a little bit off balance, but some encouraging signs for the Magpies in the last 5 or 6 minutes. It's not insurmountable, this lead, albeit it does look like Launceston seem to have the game in their control. Glenorchy with a man down in Jay Bowden and a superstar at that. But it will give them some confidence going into half-time from a Glenorchy perspective. They can regroup. It's only 4 goals the margin, and they would think that their best footy is still ahead of them. They'll need to manufacture some goals. They need big Mitch Rainbird to probably clunk a few up forward. Braden Webb. Mitch Walker's another one that hasn't been able to get his hands on the footy. Can he kick some goals? Callan Daly's really creative when the ball hits the ground. From a Launceston perspective, though, they would have taken this, I would have thought, 4-goal margin at half-time. They'll be disappointed with the last 5 minutes just allowing the opposition back into the game with back-to-back goals. But certainly there's still a long way to go, but you just feel like they've set themselves up really well for the second half.
Yeah, an encouraging finish for the Magpies to the half, but Launceston in control of the contest. 8-5. 53 leads 4-5, 29. A 4-goal advantage to Launceston. We still have a half to come in this one, and then, of course, following that, we've got the live stream of the elimination final. Eastern Shore rivals. Clarence up against Lauderdale. We'll take a brief break now and be back with the second half. Don't go anywhere. So back for the second half here at Blundstone Arena. Launceston in control of the contest. They lead by 4 goals. So Glenorchy with a major mountain to climb in the 2 quarters available to them. How do we see this one unfolding, Breno and Cam?
Yeah, look, it's going to be hard for Glenorchy, just given the soldiers they've got out. Good to see Mitch Rainbird back out there running around in the warm-up, because he did hobble off there in the back half of that quarter. But obviously the big story was Jay Bowden going down. Looks like it could be season ending for him, which is devastating for the Magpies. And then obviously the 2 outs at the start of the game. We heard at half-time Clinton French out with soreness, and Josh Grant was the other one that's out as well. So some very good players there, and Lonnie just looked on, didn't they, when they looked on in that quarter. So, look, it's going to be really hard, I think, Brandy, for the Magpies.
Yeah, the first 10 minutes will be really important for the Pies, and just to probably put some scoreboard pressure from Launceston. They need to make their most of their inside 50 entries, convert in front of goal, and obviously get some energy for them and reward for effort. So the worst case scenario for them would be if Launceston get on the scoreboard and kick the first couple, and all of a sudden put the margin close to 40 points. So both teams would have had a chance to reassess how things are going. I would have thought from a Launceston perspective they would have been delighted, albeit apart from the last 4 or 5 minutes where Glenorchy kicked back-to-back goals. Glenorchy just need to start winning the ball out of the middle for mine. Launceston looked a little bit more dangerous on the spread. They've certainly used the ball by foot a lot more efficiently, hitting targets. They've lowered their eyes. I've been really impressed with some of their ball use. But Glenorchy, the last 5 minutes was pretty good from them. We're about to start the third quarter.
So here we go. Glenorchy with some work to do. They probably need an early one. Up it goes. Good bounce. It's one down by Auckland. To the running Rundle. He's ran himself into trouble. Webb has his ball blocked. Tried to farm out to the namesake in Braden Webb, the skipper, who's dealt with after he got rid of it. Rundle now with a kick. Arnold looks to go and claim it. Led the foot race. Riley, Jones and Tyrrell over the top for Thorpe. Thorpe, a long booming kick. Looking for the big lead-em. Punch down. There's a whistle. It's going to be a lead-em free kick. And this would hurt. So Launceston operating with a resting ruckman inside 50. It's a real ace up the sleeve if they can hit the scoreboard. So
Braden Webb missed that one too before half-time, which would have been handy, wouldn't it? This just adds a further blow.
Absolutely, lead them. Interesting approach. But forgive the approach when it goes sailing through the sticks. That's Launceston's 9th, and that'll take the wind out of the Glenorchy sails. They kicked a couple before heading into the sheds. They open up a 5-goal advantage once again, Brent Costelloe.
Here they do. And we saw Glenorchy work their way back into the game in the back half of that second term. But as I just said before, Braden Webb missing that one just before half-time would have been really handy. And then for them to get one now, Launceston puts that lead back out to 30 points. Makes it really tough. But still a long way to go as we restart. Umpire will call it back.
But it's what you want, isn't it, Hamish Leader? Pushing forward with when you got him and Tim Auckland, both pure ruckmen, and they can go forward and be dangerous.
Speaking of dangerous, here's Callan Daly, but the kick's not his best, and the mark taken by Mundy. Out of defence come Launceston. Taken with the footy, half back, pops it to the wing. It's a 1-on-1 contest, but it's kept in, is it? No. So I have a ball in.
Pretty versatile player, Tom Mundy. Probably played the majority of his footy across half forward.
Jay Bowden
good down back today.
Back out onto the arena and on crutches, and looks like a left ankle, which is no good at all. Launceston trying to get it into attack again. Umpire's paid a free kick here. It's going the way of the Blues. And Daniel Joseph is down now as well, so wouldn't that just be... He's taking a while to get up as well, down on his knees. Looks like he might be okay as the ball comes inside 50 for Launceston. Anyone out the back? There is. It's Glenorchy though. And they bring it out of defence now. Walker's there. Can he take the mark? He can't. It's good stuff from Kelly Mansell. Scoops the ball up. He's held onto it. He's flicked it out the back. It's worked out okay in the end. And now it's Auckland. Timmy Auckland pops it to the paint of 50. Leadham's there, but so is Riley. Riley wheels around, goes inside, but the kick's a shocker. Straight down the throat of Duffy.
Yeah, he would have been better off going deep to Thorpe in the goal square.
Joseph back, which is good news. Took him a while to get back up, but running around now nicely. Webb was dealt with by Savage. Umpire's giving him the free kick there. It's going the other way.
That'd be a Webb free kick.
Webb free kick. So James Webb, brother of the skipper, Braden. Pops it long to no one in particular. Rowbottom throws it on the boot. Up it goes, high in the air. No one under it. Coming out though, here's a chance for the Maggies. Ryan Banks-Smith tucks the footy under his arm, has a look at the goals and says thank you very much. Nice goal, Ryan Banks-Smith, and the Magpies get one back.
Yeah, it was good composure, wasn't it? He was worried about kicking in the man of the mark, but just had the presence of mind to sidestep his opponent and most importantly finish, and gets the margin back to 4 goals. Had a pretty solid season. Banks-Smith, both underage level for Tasmanian under-18s and in the back half for Glenorchy.
Finds a lot of the footy, doesn't he, Brownie?
Yeah, he's a hard nut, really good with his hands, quite creative, and a neat finish.
So back underway. Bounce won by Auckland. Down for House. He just deals with his opponent, but his kick goes straight to Rainbird. Just throws on the boot. Nothing pretty about it. Almost for Roberts. Coming across was Webb. Made a contest of it. Walker rides a tackle. Driven into the ground. Will be a ball up. Now he's a player Glenorchy needs to lift. Is Mitch Walker. So in this ruck contest, beaten by Auckland, this will be another stoppage.
It's a name we haven't called much today, is it, Walker?
No. We know he started his campaign at Glenorchy very well this season, but he's gone out of a little. Web, a bouncing ball inside 50. Took on the tackler, did Savage, and that's holding the footy. No!
Just held on a little bit too long, Rowbottom.
Well, there we go. I thought it was probably the other way. Savage escapes. A long powering kick. Gunther puts his name on it. Riley comes across, gets fingers on it. That's kicking in danger, surely. Yes, that's the umpire.
Rowbottom's been good, boys, hasn't he, for late inclusion?
They can kick goals.
Webb now. Sorry, Brownie, a long powering kick. Savage came across, didn't quite deal with it. Rowbottom now picks it up, throws it on the boot. It's not headed goalward. Vandervelde will just let it bounce over. And out of play.
Important for Glenorchy, 3 or 4 repeat inside 50 entries here. I'd love it if they can get some reward from their effort from this boundary throw-in.
Yeah, another goal here makes it really interesting, doesn't it?
It does. They need to cut the margin and do it pretty quickly. Glenorchy falls for Rainbird. Can't quite get his kick out. He'll just sock it towards the goal. Unfortunately, it didn't land well for him. He drops it off, and Banksmith's kicked another.
Wow.
There's life in the Magpies yet.
Well, he was moving at the stoppage, wasn't he, Mitch Rainbird? And almost socked off the ground and then went again. But then was the first to the loose ball, fed it back, and a nice, neat finish again from Ryan Banksmith, who is a goal kicker. Great response from the Pies, getting it back to 18 points. The closest they've probably been since late in the first quarter, I would have thought, Brent.
I was about to say that. Hasn't been an 18-point margin for a long time. So, as you said, Gilly, called it beautifully. Life in the old dog yet as we restart. Over to you, Launceston. What sort of response are the Blues going to provide us with now as Rundle pops it high? And now here they go. Oh, wrapped up though in a big Rich Rainbird tackle. And the umpires pinged him. So free kick going the way of the Magpies, and they've got all the momentum at the moment.
He's led the way, Mitch Rainbird. Some really good grunt play from him.
So important to him. He goes short to Atkin.
And he's a player that gets them going quite often, Breno.
He does indeed. As Duffy collects right in front of us here in centre wing. Goes back to the ever-reliable Josh Arnold. And he pops it to Atkin again, who takes a nice mark. So now Arnold running through. Who's he got? He spotted up someone. It was a beautiful kick, and it's his skipper, Braden Webb. He goes inside 50, and a mark taken. No! Goes to ground. Gee whiz. Magpies have certainly lifted this last 4 or 5 minutes. Great to see.
Trying to see who missed that on that occasion. It was young Bester.
Yeah.
Gee, would have liked that.
Leadham taps it down. And they might be out of danger here. Not quite. Tyrrell. He finds Paul Freeman. Takes the mark, and they can breathe a sigh of relief for the moment, the Blues. Not much doing, though, for Paul Freeman. Decides to go long to a big, enormous pack. Auckland was running into the back of Duffy, and Duffy will get the free kick.
It's the best period of the game, Glenorchy.
Absolutely is. So Duffy, big booming kick to the pack, and out the back, a nice mark taken. It's Bailey Bester again, the young gun. He's been good inside 50 this afternoon, lads.
Tell you what, I just thought Mitch Walk had to run and jump for that, but it worked out well. Fell out the back, and Bester, he grabbed a hold of it.
It's an important kick. He's probably just got to aim it at the right goalpost.
We're right behind this one, so we'll know straight away how good it looks. Bailey Bester, the young gun, and it's a shocker. It's a dead set shocker, and he's being told all about it too. Look at this.
Yeah, he gave Tom Mundy a bit of chirp when he did take the mark. I noticed
There you go. It's on now. Vanderveld's in there.
And when you give a bit of chirp, you've got to put them through the big sticks.
Yeah, absolutely. That would have been a huge goal too.
It's real blows. They kick it out of defence now. Thorpe arrives, brings it to ground. Will be a stoppage. No, that was a must kick. You got to put those away. So it'll be a stoppage, not far from forward 50 for the Magpies. Duffy over the top, Daly. He's run into, that'll be a free kick, caught high.
He's probably had a pretty underrated year, this guy.
Bit hot and cold, Brownie, but when he's hot, he's very, very good. Daly, a kick that hugs the boundary. In fact, doesn't just hug it, gives it a real good cuddle. Out it goes.
I think he's kicked about 19 goals, but lots of score involvements. But they're loving to bob up for a couple more score involvements in the latter part of this game.
So Tyrrell long, Riley arrives, bursts away. Dylan Riley, option inside, finds Paul Freeman. Right in the middle of the ground, through the bullseye, he strides. Looking forward, options are plenty. Takes a couple of bounces, still going Paul Freeman. Hands it off. And to the right option, but just missing was Taylor.
That was electric.
It was hot footy on the counter from the Blues.
That was brilliant from the stoppage. That's where they look dangerous, don't they?
So it looked likely to be a goal, not to beat. Glenorchy, they need to go down the other end. Gunther arrives and makes a good fist of it. Picking it up was Tyrrell. Does well, rides a couple of tackles. Camrick just dealt with. Burrowing in was Gunther. Coming over the top was Roberts. House picks it up. Gets by one. Slaps it on the boot. Thorpe all alone. Mitch Thorpe, the Hudson medalist. Why he's on his own is anyone's guess. But he'll line up. Be Launceston's 10th and would really wrestle the momentum from Glenorchy.
Well, that's the art of forward play, just being able to find space, and he's done that a few occasions today. He's played a little bit higher up the ground on occasions. And he's had some nice inside 50 entries, deep entries to teammates. You'd expect him to kick this goal.
You absolutely would, Brownie. Mitch Thorpe, what a player. For a long time within Tasmania. Come across from Devonport to do this job for Launceston. And he's doing it well on the big stage. Puts it through the middle. It's a 10th for Launceston. And it's a real bitter blow for Glenorchy, who had a bright period there, Breno, but did not maximise their impact.
Yeah, it just makes that miss from Bester a few minutes ago even more costly, doesn't it? But they've shown they've got some fight in them, the Magpies, so they just need to respond and do it quickly. I'd love another one now. 4 straight, 24 is the margin. So we restart. It's a nice bounce from the umpire. As Leadham got it, but they're away here now, Launceston. They're wrapped up, though, by Geared and been pinged, so great tackle. Webb's been given advantage. Braden Webb gets it inside 50 and going back with the fight. Nice mark. It's Mundy. Sun playing havoc out there at the moment. Has not disappeared all day, but the shadow over Blundstone Arena is getting greater by the minute. Of course, this is the first of 2 matches here this afternoon. Got an electric elimination final coming up for you right after this. Clarence and Lauderdale. Going to be an absolute belter. Here's Rainbird. He really got Glenorchy going. And now they're almost away there inside 50, but the Blues did well. And free kick going that way of Shepherd. One of the best moustaches going around, not only in the TSL, but in football in general. That is one thick black moustache. They pump it long, the Blues, to the wing. And now Parker. Tapped along, though, by Smith. And the ball's eventually out of bounds for a boundary throw-in. 6-6-42, the Magpies are. They trail Launceston 10-6-66. Just over 15 minutes gone. This third term. Glenorchy need the next goal just to stay in touch. Duffy wins it out. House, a big man. And now Leadham off the boot. Goes high in the air. And tapped out by Jones. Another ball in. Just repeating, if you're just joining the coverage this afternoon, Jay Bowden out of the game, sitting on the bench as we speak with a left ankle. So it might be season over. Clinton French out with soreness as Porphyroman wins the footy. Gets it inside. Who's there for Launceston? Glenorchy do well to get it out the back. Still not out of trouble though. Big booming kick. Players fell under it. Webb just threw himself at the footy. Shepherd's in there as well. No one can get a clean break. Cries for holding the ball, but the umpire will have it.
4 goals here. The advantage to Launceston. Ball back up. There's an interesting hit out. Webb rides the tackle. In fact, throws it. So it'll be a free kick for the Blues, and they'll look to send it forth inside 50. Chase Jones, the tackler, perhaps no surprise. Been brilliant, the youngster. Well, that's a pinpoint ball. That is beautiful stuff off the boot of Jones. Just picked his target to perfection and found Dakin, who will line up for Launceston's 11th. That is the quality of Chase Jones right there on show. First of all, the tackle to win the footy, and then the kick was perfect.
He's a terrific tackler, Gilly.
Dakin, another fine young player, lets it ride. Not his best.
Yeah, that sums up him, isn't it? That's his MO. He always plays with great effort, Chase Jones.
Comes out of defence, but not for long, as Harper catches the footy, looks up, sees something he likes, but it wasn't meant to be Rainbird. Jumps in and takes a good grab for the Maggies. A really important player for them, Rainbird. Looks in the row bottom direction, makes a contest of it. Out and over.
Well, it's important, 5 or 10 minutes coming up in the context of this game. 25 points the margin. And Glenorchy, if they could just cut this margin with a couple of goals before three-quarter time.
Yeah, next goal is very, very important. It's one down. Rainbow just tries to burrow his way through. Doesn't quite work out. Maybe in the back there? Yes. So here we are. Glenorchy with an opportunity through. I think it's row bottom on the far side. Yep, it appears to be a long, booming kick. Pack forms, mainly in blue. An unrealistic attempt. We'll just gift a free kick to the Blues. That is not what the doctor ordered for Glenorchy. Big Auckland now. Hands off for Kelly Mansell. Not his best kick at all. And they might pay. Rowbottom snares it. Looks at goal. Does it have the journey? It does! Wowee! Into the side and having an impact is Rowbottom.
He's a leading goal scorer on the ground with 3 goals. It's certainly having an impact. And just backed himself, didn't he? He's got good forward craft. We've seen him before kick goals when we've called games on the stream. And what an inclusion, kicking 3 goals today out of 7 for his team. And most importantly, gets it back to within 19 points. And full credit to Glenorchy, boys. We thought at half-time in the break it was probably going to be difficult for them.
Yeah, again, it's back to 19 points, so well within reach of the Magpies with still a quarter and change to play. We're not going far here from the centre circle.
Yeah, 3 goals to 2 in the third quarter.
Auckland wins it down. Geared, gets boots of ball. Bouncing outside the centre square. Tyrrell does well for Launceston, throws it on the boot. Has he got anyone there? He does, but no one can collect. Jones does out the back in the end. He throws it on the boot. Back forms, and the Blues get it out. Right on 50. Riley. Glenorchy get it though through Harrison Gunther, but he's wrapped up and have a ball up. So 20 minutes gone into time on in the third quarter, premiership quarter, of course. You see Mitch Thorpe throw himself into the ruck there. Danger spot here for the Magpies. I'd hate to let another goal slip here. Thorpe tries to muster something. But no one can get the clean break right now. Umpires paid a free kick here. It's going the way of the Magpies.
He's had a good quarter, Mitch Rainbird.
He has indeed. Spots up Ryan Banks-Smith, who kicked a goal earlier this quarter to a really nice one. He was disposed of after he had the kick. And well done there by Joby Harper, just to stop Salter's influence there. Kelly Mansell. Paul Freeman, great mark.
Gee, his touches are so important, Paul Freeman. Normally something happens whenever he's got the footy in hand.
He goes long up the line. Thorpe's lurking. So is Riley. Great mark from behind.
We're out here.
He finds Joby Harper. Best on ground, the TSL Grand Final in 2013. Has a nice kick inside 50. The mark taken by Jack Rushton.
Well, he doesn't look confident with the distance. He's going to give it off to Joby Harper.
So Joby Harper, right on 50. Hasn't got the journey. It's going to fall short to the top of the square. Punched away by Walker.
Take the mark.
He had to take the mark. Now, in fairness to him, maybe a lack of talk, but he positioned himself beautifully to take it.
So this is still a dangerous
Probably a lack
spot.
of confidence at the moment for him. Marking's a big part of his game. He's playing well when he's up and catching the footy.
Walker's in the ruck with Thorpe. Bouncing footy, Atkin collects, but wrapped up quickly by Riley. Again, another ball up. So 19 points is the buffer here. 22 and a half minutes gone. So Riley to Thorpe, back to Riley. Riley spots up Harper. Harper can't take the mark. He still juggles it into his own possession though. Harper. It's a high ball. And Thorpe's under it. A good punch there by the Magpies and out of bounds. So a little let off there. I'd hate to concede one from here, lads.
Definitely.
7-6-48, the Magpies. They trail 10-7-67. From behind was Leadham. Umpire's
free
blown
kick.
a whistle here. Free kick going Glenorchy's way. And Gunther. So Gunther straight down the middle, but the kick is to no one. And Shepherd's going to get this. It's all well done, though, by Brennan.
I don't mind that kick from Gunther. I mean, it didn't hit the target, but I don't mind the ambition of trying to pierce the corridor.
Auckland, and now Paul Freeman, what can he do? Mr. Magic, his kick is just inside mark taken anyway. No, it's out.
What was it?
Throw-in, you thought it was all right.
That can only be
What is that?
two things.
That's a
Out on the full or a mark, because
No.
he did not juggle it.
And it's a throw-in.
I tell you
Glenorchy
what,
are very stiff there.
at least the boundary umpire was confident in his body language.
The crowd don't like it, that's for sure, as it comes back in. Big punch from behind from Walker, punch again from Gunther.
Oh, well done,
And
Jackson.
now Banks
That's
Smith
good.
gets it. Umpire's blowing the whistle for a throw. It's going the way of Launceston. Kick will be taken by Rundle. Sammy
is where-
Rundle pops it up, top of the square. Who's there? Thorpe is lurking.
Oh, no.
And play on, says the umpire. Harper. Can he get the footy back? He's wrapped up and won't go anywhere. So top of the square.
It's been a good quarter of footy.
It has.
Both teams' endeavour has been really strong.
Can Launceston muster something here? Thorpe tried to pull out a magic trick. Not on this occasion. Gunther.
Now, the
Taylor wraps
difficult
him up.
thing from here, if you're a Glenorchy player, is you're going to have to work your way through this stoppage because Launceston are well set up behind the footy.
So Leighton. And out the back, it's a bouncing ball. Point.
Probably suits them now because they would have had to run it out by hand from there.
So 25 and change gone in this third term. Joseph to himself. Not a heap to kick to. Onto the outer wing he looks. Looking for his skipper. Webb trickles over the back and away from Kelly Mansell. Probably a decent result there for Glenorchy. Only a couple of matchups in there. Half of the ground. A lot of numbers around the ball. Lonnie looking to lock it in. They're 4.5. They've done a decent job of it without really hitting the scoreboard in the last 5 minutes. Ball thrown in, shallow throw. We might need another one. And we will. So 20 points is the margin here at Blundstone Arena. The sun disappearing. Fantastic day for footy. Has been a really fascinating quarter, this one. Glenorchy won't lie down. Thrown in now. Duffy and Auckland. Auckland with a hit out. Rainbird just comes through. A rampaging bull. Tries to make something of it. Rundle now with a strong tackle. Brings about a stoppage.
Up it goes. And straight back out of bounds. No, it's kept in. Rainbird went to ground. And players dive all over it. Still alive though. Not for long. So
Probably a little bit stiff, Glenorchy, in terms of for their effort. They've only won the quarter by 4 points. Just watching the quarter in isolation just feels like they've had a fair bit better of this quarter, certainly from an effort point of view. They've worked really hard. Mitch Rainbird in particular, some of his work defensively, just to lift his teammates early in that third quarter was terrific.
Comes in again. Duffy with a hit out down. Rainbird just bustles it forward. Nothing pretty at the moment. It's a hot footy thrown on the boot from Tyrrell. Picked up by Gunther. Lovely stuff. He's dealt with afterwards. Probably entitled to a kick. Play goes on. Well done by Jackson. Rode the tackle. Sends it back from whence it came. Gunther under it. He's dealt with. Swinging it in was Rundle. Underneath that is Riley. Gets it to a runner in Dakin. Picked up by Rowbottom. Smith almost with the one juker. Turns around. He's in trouble. That's a great rundown tackle.
Well done,
Atkin,
Been okay too.
the son of the gun, with a great rundown tackle right on the shadows of three-quarter time. That could be a crucial moment in what looked like being another Smith goal. Glenorchy narrowly avoided. They go into the break, 20 points adrift. Fascinating quarter, fellas.
Yeah, it was. It was, and full credit to Glenorchy, because we thought that might be it at half-time. Just goes to show it's not over till it's over. They put in a really brave fight there with a lot of their key personnel out. We see Jay Bowden make his way out into the ground with crutches. So I think Paul Kennedy, the coach, will be really happy with that. And they're certainly not out of this game yet if they can get a few quick goals early in that final term camp.
No, well, most importantly, they're close enough if they're good enough, and a 20-point margin, and they certainly, their work rate was picked up right from the word go, in fairness to them, in the third quarter, albeit I think Leader might have kicked the first one. But from there, they just, and they had a couple of more opportunities that they would have loved to have taken early on in that third quarter, and then it became a bit of an arm wrestle. Just the 5 goals kicked, 3 to the Magpies and 2 to Launceston, and the last 10 minutes was a bit of a stalemate and became a real struggle for both teams to find some time and space inside the forward 50. But Launceston, they would be feeling fairly comfortable at the moment. 20 points, Glenorchy with a man down in rotations. So it is going to be difficult for them, but I love their effort. I love their willingness to still remain in the contest. And although some of their players haven't had their best of days, they are still close enough from a Launceston perspective. A couple of times when Polframan's had the footy, and Riley and these sorts of players have been able to break out into some space. Chase Jones is another one. Gee, they've looked dangerous. And you'd think Glenorchy just have to restrict that dangerous ball use at times when Launceston have been able to get them on the outside and run and carry the footy. They look really dangerous. So from a Glenorchy perspective, it'll get down, I think, to the first 5 or 10 minutes if they can certainly convert on the scoreboard, narrow this gap, get some real self-belief going into this last quarter. Well, then they will probably generate some real energy among their team. From a Launceston perspective, just got to remain calm, back their players in, back some of their experience. They've been in these sorts of situations before. We know these two teams played each other last week, Gilly, so potentially it could be another close finish.
Yeah, it's looking that way. Don't go anywhere. As we turn for the last, it is Launceston 10-8-68, Glenorchy 7-6-48. 20 points in it. The game still well and truly up for grabs. Stay with us here at Blundstone Arena. So back for the last quarter here at Blundstone Arena as supporters and staff scamper off the field. Glenorchy and Launceston prepare to give it one last shot in this final term. Launceston in control and you'd think would be favoured. Just take care of the contest from here with a 20-point advantage. But Glenorchy have just hung around, Brent. They just won't go away. And an early goal, well, who knows?
That's exactly right. As Brownie said, if you're near enough, let's see if you're good enough. And that's what the challenge is for the Magpies. The moment this ball's bounced. Look, we know what's at stake. The place against North Launceston next week, which puts a spot in the grand final on the line. So huge ramifications out of this game. We know they've got some personnel out, but I showed in that third quarter that they can match it with them. So big first 10 minutes coming up here.
Yeah, dead right. So we just wait for the last few spectators to make their way off. Everyone back in the middle. Some of the key movers in this game. We saw Polfreman in that quarter really light it up with a few key touches. Rainbird and the opposing side did the same. Chase Jones, some of his best work is just electrifying. It's in the middle. Up and underway. It hits the bonce, I think, of Auckland. Coming through was Rainbird. Rides the tackle. He's in trouble now. Riley away and eager to move it. A kick in the advantage of Leedham. Body contact, didn't quite complete the mark. Parker just trickles it over. Shouts for deliberate.
Still got pace, hasn't he, Dylan Riley? His ability then to run and carry the footy. As Mitch Rainbow was just caught with the ball. Braden Webb deep forward for the Magpies. Love him to get on the scoreboard.
So thrown in, down from Leedham. Racing through was Jones. Back into the mix. Riley with a tackle. Jones now. He can't bring it back from there, can he? Doesn't have the journey, not quite offline.
It's a couple of times he's got some real power and penetration from kicks across his body.
He makes it look easy, doesn't he?
He's not missing too much, Brownie.
He's a ripper.
Joseph now plays on. A kick into the centre.
Well, good gather.
It's a good gather indeed by Bester. An unorthodox kick, though. Dakin almost. Atkin does well. Rala Kelly Mansell and a Glenorchy sandwich.
Brownie, where do you see Chase going in the draft? I asked you that about Harrison Gunther before, but where are you thinking he'll drop now? Because there was talk of top 10 there at one stage. You might come back to that.
Jones now trying to rush through. Pals it through his leg. He's dealt with after he got rid of the footy. That's a free kick for Chase Jones.
Yeah, Brent is right on cue. I would have thought Chase would be an inside 20 pick.
Good kick favouring Leedham. Leedham almost. Down for the fall of Riley. Gets by one. Riley now. Can he find the goal? No. Offline to left.
Fend off there. Dusty Martin sort of style.
He has a bit of Dusty in his game with the tats and the strength. Play forward and a burst of speed. There is a little bit of Dusty about him. It's the kick out is taken short to Rainbird and he finds Atkin.
It's been okay, Atkin.
He has. That tackle right on the edge of three-quarter time was huge. He goes along looking for Duffy. The battle of the ruckman with Auckland. It falls for Smith. He tries to keep it alive, but it's over the line and out for a throw.
22 points is the gap Glenorchy needs to fill in. Standing between them and a place against North Launceston next week. Lonnie in the box seat at the moment. Plenty of time left though as Auckland taps it down to Paul Freeman. Arnold coming through. Paul Freeman going to get it back. It's Riley now though. Off to Jones. Chase Jones, the young gun. Intercepted by Joseph and Atkins there lurking too, and it's ended up over the boundary line.
Already that looks a really good move. Dylan Riley into the midfield. He'd have fresh legs. Play predominantly deep forward. And he can potentially run out this game, you would think.
So the sun almost gone here and disappeared for the afternoon on the venue anyway. Lights won't be too far away. As Paul Freeman wheels around, puts it to the top of the square. It's all Glenorchy though, 2-on-1 contest. Good mark taken.
Oh.
Parker not paid. ball up.
That must have been off the hands. Reads it so well, Pieterman, doesn't he, from the stoppage? Just off the ruckman's hands. Just seems to react quicker than anyone else.
Here's a chance. Jones. Chase Jones. No.
Speaking of reacting quicker, he does it very well too, that man, Chase Jones.
Can't wait to see him at an AFL club next year. Not a matter of if he will be, it's where he'll be at. So comes back in. Van der Velde at the back. Tyrrell goes backwards. Now Savage under pressure. Rowbottom was there. And now kicked off the ground by Bailey Bester. Oh, and a free kick there, surely. Yep. Tripped. And it is going the way of Glenorchy, so this makes things really interesting.
I reckon about 5 seconds before that, Launceston were trying to give away a professional free kick because Glenorchy were goal side. This becomes a really important kick. The other thing, getting back to Chase Jones, you hear such great things about him as a character and the leader that he potentially could become when he does get to an AFL club. So certainly clubs would love that aspect of him.
Adam Roberts is the man with the football. Can he be the hero here and keep Glenorchy in striking distance of Launceston? You betcha! You betcha! There's lots of life in this game yet. Don't worry about that. Do not go anywhere.
It was 15 points at quarter time, the margin in this game, so this is probably the closest they've been for a long time. Glenorchy, good finish from Roberts. Didn't look the best kick off the boot, Gilly, but it found its way there. Doesn't matter how it gets there, as long as it goes through the big sticks, and it did.
Exactly right. A lot of credit to Rowbottom for making that contest.
Yep. He has been brilliant.
He's been very good coming in. Bounce in favour of Auckland. Bit of work to do here, Blues, just to kill off this game. Jones, in the end, got it to the boot. Joseph through traffic, magnificent. Finds a target. That's a good catch from the youngster.
Wow.
Really good stuff from Bailey Bester, showing plenty on the big stage. Finds his target. Most recent goal kicker in Roberts.
I reckon it's right on his margin. He'd love Daniel Joseph to run around the back here. Where's he? On his left
was
foot.
the one
Walker's just on
around.
his own, down deep.
So he's shaping as if he is going to have a look at the sticks. He's going to ask plenty off the right boot and out to the right. It falls shallow. It might almost fell for a mark. Rainbird pirouette almost on the boot. Mundy now. And Taylor caught high. It's just the free kick they didn't need.
A little bit over-exuberant, wasn't it?
Young Bailey Bester, he's shown plenty. So Taylor out of defence now. Looks long onto the wing. Riley the target over his head and punched out of bounds.
Around the ground to the AFL. Fremantle leading Collingwood by a goal. Get up. Your Dogs, Cam.
Heartbreak, Brent. No luck.
Would like Fremantle to win. Opens up top four for Melbourne.
Good news for all of us, I reckon, if the Dockers get up. Hurts me to say that, though. As Glenorchy try and get it in attack again. Bouncing ball inside 50. Picked up by Harper and big tackle. And holding the footy. Huge moment in the game. And it's that man again, boys.
Well, he's quite unfashionable if you look at him from a body shape point of view, but he just plays with great effort, and he's dangerous when the ball hits the ground. But importantly, he works really hard defensively to lock it in, and that's been a feature of his game today. And early on, when his team was probably struggling, he was able to bob up and kick some goals.
He was a late inclusion. This for goal number 4 and to put his team right back in contention. Brodie Rowbottom, you star!
Well, 4 of the best. We're back to 11 points, and gee, it's been a great response from Glenorchy. We'll probably wax lyrical about the injury to Jay Bowden and the potential impact that might have had emotionally on the team. Seeing their star player go off the ground with an injury in the first quarter, knowing that he wouldn't return. And we kept on saying, boys, where are the goals going to come from? Well, they've come from Brodie Rowbottom. He's kicked 4. Ryan Banks-Smith bobbed up for 2 in that third quarter, and that's what they've needed. And Launceston, they need to get their hands on the footy here. Glenorchy are coming.
They're coming hard. And that bounce will have to be done again. Sam Bridges, not your best work.
Well, I told you boys not to write the Magpies off.
I can't recall you saying that, but...
We wrote the Dogs off, and they nearly got there.
And up it goes again. So, big moment in this game.
Plenty of time left too.
Heaps of time. Daly comes through. Gets it on the boot. Manufactures something. Boyce catches it. Atkin disrupts. Throws it on the boot. A spiralling ball. Walker. Oh, through the hands. Butterfingers. No good. Out it comes. Boyce almost. Wrapping up in a tackle was Walker. Out the back from Geard. He had his ball blocked. Shepherd now with some time and space to assess options. A silly free kick.
Well, that was the moment, wasn't it? Mitch Walker had a real opportunity to take the mark, and he just looks like he's bereft of some confidence at the moment. You know, he's got some real athleticism.
Thorpe now, long, an inside 50, almost for Auckland. Out the back was Parker, did well. Arnold, he does very well. Finds Banksmith.
They're out.
Now assesses options. Salter now. If they get it moving quick, they are out, as you say, gentlemen. Inboard, looking for Roberts. Got to make a contest. Does, but no one in black and white is there to help out.
On the ball.
Great tackle. Daly now. Gunther, usually good by foot, is again here over the head of Walker. Just didn't look like he wanted the footy. Rainbird out the back. Webb now. Almost for James Webb. Out the back is Geard. He's all on his own. As easy as you like. Glenorchy.
Well,
this is massive.
What was absolutely magnificent was the defensive bump from young Bester, I think it was, that allowed Geard to run. Was it Geard that ran on and kicked that goal? Because it was a 2-on-1 situation. The Launceston player was trying to get across to put some pressure on, but it was a magnificent bump. Coaches loved that. Gave his teammate Geard the opportunity to kick the goal. Brilliant work from Glenorchy. 5 points. My word, they've lifted.
What did it get out to? Did it get out to 30?
I reckon it did
It
get
got
out
close
to
to
5
it
goals
anyway.
at one point.
It was 5 goals.
I reckon
Leadham
Leadham
kicked
kicked the first goal of the third quarter, boys.
Enormous finish to this game coming up. Do not go anywhere. How exciting as Daly comes out of the middle. And now ball bouncing inside 50. Launceston trying to control it. Salters there. Harper gathers but dragged down. Bailey Bester on top of him. Have a ball up.
Gee, Daly, he's been good, hasn't he? Some of his touches.
They've lifted in the middle, Brownie. That's where they've got on top.
Exactly.
It's all Glenorchy at the moment in this final is huge. Huge moment of the game and has to throw.
Wow, they have all the momentum at the moment. Launceston just can't get their hands on the footy.
Mitch Walker.
Mitch Walker, who hasn't had his best day. He missed a mark that he really should have taken.
It's a lead on here. Ignores that though. He'll go back and back himself in.
Well, he might be trying to get himself involved in the game. And not a bad shout either.
If he kicks this, it won't matter what else he's done.
This to put Glenorchy in front after being 5 goals down. Top of the square. Had the journey almost, but through for a rush behind. Exciting finish to this game.
Jeez.
Glenorchy looked on the canvas when their star, Jay Bowden, went down. Lonnie were all over him. All over him. Now it's the other way round. And now they've got it again, the Magpies. Banks-Smith. Back to Webb. They can't get it past halfway, Launceston. Banks-Smith again. And now here's a chance for the Blues to get it away. Riley. Handballs it forward to Thorpe, his former coach. And now Taylor. There's a whistle blown, advantage paid. Can this be the goal that Launceston's looking for? Kicks on its way, bouncing ball, it's touched.
She was going in.
Was going, definitely going in.
He's been dangerous by in front of the goal. Smith would have been his third.
So Joseph out of defence now, picks out Roberts. Good lead from the youngster. It's been very handy for them.
Agree with that.
Eyes darting now, doesn't know where to kick, it goes long. Couple of big tools there for Launceston. Chase Jones with the crumb, that's out the full.
It's on. Here we go, boys.
You actually don't need to do this if you're either
Rough
team.
and tumble.
All that can happen is a 50-metre penalty or the free kick can be reversed against you. It's Mitch Rainbird's kick. He doesn't realise it's his.
So Mitch Rainbird.
And the tackle that went out of bounds, obviously, on the full from Chase Jones. Now he's going to go back. He's going to make sure he hits the kick, however.
He bites off the kick. It's to Arnold. A cool head under pressure.
Always.
Now he finds another target. They move it up the wing. Next kick's important. Banksmith takes the grab. What's offering on? Not sure where to head. Long and high. Almost over the head of, I think it's Walker out there, and out it goes. So it'll be thrown in.
So much on the line here, Gilly. He's called it early. If Lonnie win, the grand final is in Launceston. Simple as that. So everything to play for right now.
Whoever wins this gets a free swing at North Launceston next week. Up it goes. Driving was Walker. Webb. Braden Webb hands it off. Banksmith, a tumbling punt through. Sniffing around was Daly. He's out the back. They whack it on the boot. It wasn't pretty. It was cut off though. Joseph now.
Clever.
Taps down. Atkin being good. Roberts! Strong hands!
Well, absolutely brilliant from Daniel Joseph.
It was so clever.
Just to knock it on to Atkin, who again lowered his eyes, and Roberts, he's been terrific.
So Roberts now, he has been terrific.
He gives his team the side his first opportunity to hit the front since I think their opening goal of the game, was it not?
Yep. They led the game by 9 points for 4 quick goals from Launceston. Roberts now to put his team in front. Gets the ride. It's out to the right. Arriving late was a Magpie. Couldn't pick out who it was.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. It's going to give him another look. It was thrown on the boot by Savage. Roberts again now.
Yeah, he's just got to think his way through the situation. Gee, lack of composure there, though, from Savage, wasn't it? Probably almost could have run it out. Perhaps he was worried about it being deliberate.
So Roberts hugging the boundary. This had taken almighty kick. It's a shocker of a kick. There's an unrealistic attempt in there somewhere. Scampers through for a behind.
Yeah, Daly again. He's dangerous at ground level. He's had a big second half like a lot of his teammates.
So a lot of pressure on this exit outside 50. Ruller Kelly Mansell to himself. Long high. Pack forms. Gunther punched away by Jones. Maybe not the wisest move. Daly sniffing around. Hands over the top looking for Bester. And Riley cuts it off and out it goes. Pressure mounting here for the Blues.
Great attack on the ball again from Daly. He's looking at the umpire for a free kick.
Want to have a close one here, boys?
Oh, it's a nail biter, Brent Costelloe.
Mitch Rainbird, often dangerous in these situations.
So back in it comes. Walker over his head. Cries for free kicks. Geared. Riley. Riding the tackle. Jones. Terrific. Thorpe does well. Taps the ball to his own advantage. Atkin. Terrific as well. Thorpe emerges. Mitch Thorpe over the top. He sold Rundle into trouble, but Rundle held without it. That'll be the pressure reliever.
Unlucky.
Rundle, brave kick inside. It had to be perfect and was. Here we are now. Looking forward as Riley takes a grab. This would be a real sucker punch.
He's got Ethan Jackson.
Riley, little one, drops it off for House.
He's a pretty big kick of the footy, boys. He will give himself a chance here.
He looks like he's eyeing it off.
I've seen him kick these. He was actually having a warm-up kick last night at North Hobart, Jamison House.
There we go.
Inside info.
Cam Brown does his homework. Jamison House. This would really sap the momentum of Glenorchy. Jamison House from outside 50. Oh, into the woodwork.
Well, he got the distance okay.
Gee whiz. Ball back in.
React quickly.
Glenorchy are away here. Banksmith. They're running the wing. Mark taken. 5-point buffer. Approaching time on. Final term of this qualifying final. Huge stuff happening here at Blundstone Arena. James Webb's taking a mark inside 50.
That was terrific play.
End-to-end footy, coast to coast, and the Magpies will have a shot for about 20 metres out, and James Webb can kick him. Don't worry about that.
The margins of TSL footy, boys. Jamison House kicks that goal and it gets it out to a 10-point lead. All of a sudden, it's a post-up, and Glenorchy can hit the front.
James Webb to put
it.
his team in front. He's missed it off to the right.
It was a tentative run-up. He tried to steer it through, and this is the pressure of finals footy. Sometimes the hard part, if you're Glenorchy, when you're coming back from a margin, is actually just getting in front, and you often see games where teams just pepper and can't get in front and never get there.
So ball spills out the back. Magpies have it through Atkin. They try and control it through Joseph now. And now Chase Jones gets the handball away. Rundle. And still alive here.
Well done, Gunther.
Free kick, yes. Going to Gunther, and he's on his haunches here, boys, too. But he'll get back up. He's okay.
I think he's just copped one where you don't want to cop it.
I reckon he has too. So Harrison Gunther, the young gun from Glenorchy. Kick under pressure is a beauty. Lands with Webb, who was dealt with after the kick. And it's in a dangerous spot here for Launceston. What can the Magpies muster? Camerick pops it up. Looks all right. Duffy couldn't get there, unfortunately for him. But still with the Pies, though.
Well done, Stevenson.
And look at this.
Great kick.
Braden Webb takes the mark now.
We've got to take a bit of time to acknowledge Harper's effort there.
Oh, and 50, surely. It's 50. It is. Oh. It's 50. Silly stuff from Vandervelde. Will gift Braden Webb a goal and Glenorchy the lead. What was he thinking?
Why would you do it at this point of the game? And the 20-minute mark, you have to put your ego in the back pocket. Just don't even give the umpire a chance.
Braden Webb, the captain of Glenorchy, is about to put his team in front. Time on, final term. The skipper, the captain, takes his time, makes no mistake. Glenorchy are in front. They were 30 points down.
Well, they've been magnificent, haven't they, to come back from where they were. And the effort of Harper was terrific from a Launceston perspective, but I love the work of young Stevenson. Just a young player. And just had the presence of mind again to spot up the target. Braden Webb was lining up. We saw him miss one late in the second quarter, was it, boys, from a similar position. And unfortunately, some ill discipline from Vandervelde and puts Webb on the goal line, and the Pies are in front.
Up we go. Duffy down. Riding the tackle is Shepherd. He's crunched by Daly.
Well, I think the bookmakers had it right, didn't they? They had this one being really tight, boys.
Well, we said at the outset, flip of the coin game, and it's ended up playing out that way. Launceston has seen the lead evaporate in this final term.
And what Glenorchy have done is thrown one behind the footy, which means Launceston will have an extra one at the stoppage. I think it's Ryan Tyrrell.
It is Brownie, well seen. Smith with a fresh airy there. Back there, Auckland just tries to work through it.
It's young Jack Stevenson who's standing in the hole, deep in defence for Glenorchy, so he's just got to position himself here for the intercept.
Geared now, gets it well off hands. Banksmith steers it in the direction of James Webb. He's got it, Webb. Plays on. That's a great looking kick in the best of direction. Not taken by Vandervelde, runs it out. Rainbird into him. Just didn't quite hold it. There's nothing in that, Brent Costelloe. The Magpie fan coming out in you right there. Will be tossed in. Forward pocket for Glenorchy. Another goal here. Makes it very difficult. Auckland all on his own though. How did Glenorchy have no one there? Gear loses it. The Blues through hands. Paul Freeman comes to Joseph. Joseph! Joseph! Wow!
Wow, indeed.
Player of the year during the week.
And he's got player of the week.
Oh, he'll be player of the week for sure. What a moment.
That was brilliant footy, Daniel Joseph. And look, he's a very experienced customer now, whether it be at TSL level. We've seen him go and play state footy in the NEFL, and he used all his experience to sit back at the stoppage, but just have the presence of mind and still the goal sense and forward craft to snap and put it out to an 8-point game. Geez, had a wonderful season and a solid game as well, I might add, today.
Extraordinary stuff this from Glenorchy. How courageous have the Magpies been? What have Launceston got left in them? Riley pumps it inside. Can they get one back here, the Blues? Thorpe, the veteran, dragged down. Ball alive.
They're swarming, Breno.
They are. They're all over him. Here's Daly.
Held without
Magpies
it.
blown a whistle. Yep, free kick Glenorchy. So time is slowly starting to become the enemy of Launceston now. Daly's kick worked okay in the end. Well, I just can't believe this. What a fight back.
It was 9 goals to 4, boys, so Glenorchy have kicked 8 of the last 9 goals, I think.
McKnight pushes it forward. And now Boyce. And now Bailey Bester. It's a high ball. Can anyone mark it? They can! Another Glenorchy mark! It's the skipper! It's Braden Webb!
Strong hands.
And this is where he'll use all of his experience, Gilly. Yeah, great call. Very strong hands, but he'll just wait, chew up 25 seconds of the clock. And the experience has come to the fore for Glenorchy.
They were down by 30. Their
It's been a
lead
stunning
is
turnaround,
8.
isn't
It's
it?
been extraordinary, Brownie.
Been
9
one-way
goals
traffic.
to 4. And since then,
Braden Webb goes short.
That's a shock.
Hamerick, not sure what he was thinking. Launceston turn it over. That was a really poor decision by the skipper. Anyway, play goes on. They get it back, the Magpies. Joseph's there, Arnold, Gunther.
great
And
kick.
Gunther's done well.
Super kick.
And the skipper gets it back.
Super play from Arnold. They are just so well organised back there. Arnold, Joseph, Gunther.
This is huge. Absolutely huge. Without their star players, Jay Bowden left in the first quarter.
No Grant.
No French.
No Mott.
And they're going to
No
have to
Mott.
roll
We haven't
the dice,
spoken about
aren't they?
Mott. This is unbelievable from Glenorchy.
Well, from a Launceston perspective, they've just got to go now straight up the middle of the ground. There's probably 2 or 3 minutes left in this game. They're 8 points behind. They need 2 goals.
In it comes again. Can they kick the sealer here, the Magpies? Here's Webb. Here's Camerick. Bouncing ball. Vandervelde's there to collect. Does okay and gets it out of danger. Or is it deliberate?
Couldn't be
No,
deliberate.
I wouldn't pay it.
Yeah, no.
They were cries for it. They were cries for it. Don't worry about that. Well,
26 and change gone here, Breno.
8 points. It's starting to just get away from Launceston now, you would think. Time is well and truly the enemy. How long do you reckon to go, Brownie? A couple of minutes?
A
if
couple
that?
of minutes, I would have thought. We're
Been a
just
few
about
goals.
to tick into 26.5 minute mark, so I would have thought maybe 28.5, 29.
We wait the ball in. Launceston have it.
Jackson.
Ethan Jackson pops it up, and that's a terrible kick, and the Glenorchy will get it back again.
Look, it was well worked. He read it beautifully off the stoppage, and he found some time and space, but unfortunately,
Just didn't work for
just
him.
shanked it off foot.
So it's going to be Daniel Joseph to bring it in here, Breno.
And Glenorchy will be happy to go sideways. They'll be happy to go short, take some time off the clock, or just go down the line. Smart kick.
Joseph Long looking in the Duffy direction. Duffy.
Slow down, he says. Slow down.
Having some of the experienced players come to the fore from a Glenorchy perspective, and some of their one-on-one marking in this last quarter has been brilliant.
Yeah, their strength in the contest has
They
been
have.
superb.
They
It's
go on and win this game. It's been a terrific effort from them. Gee, you'd be bitterly disappointed if you're Sam Lonergan and Launceston Footy Club.
So Duffy now, a stutter off the right. Never looked like going through the middle.
Okay, so Glenorchy got to be set up. Launceston will go up the middle of the ground. Watch for Mitch Thorpe. He'll probably try and knock it on. Rushton might be the target.
So a quick play on from Kelly Mansell. He's going to try and run some metres. Long, right down the guts, looking in the Thorpe direction. Rushton takes it at his shoelaces. But it's a Thorpe free kick. Thorpe now, a big booming boot. Looks long as they rush back inside 50. Riley, did he cop one high? He did! Oh, does this game have another twist in it?
I just thought Glenorchy, they had some time there to get back. It was always going to go up the middle of the ground. Unfortunately, free kick was given away. Riley has to kick this, though, boys. It won't be easy. He's going to be right on 50.
This is going to take Dylan Riley's best. He's wasting no time. Goes right for some distance.
And just faded.
Just fades. So a minor score, and it gets the Glenorchy fans
So no risk here. Down the line.
excited.
If you're Glenorchy.
Quick for Geared.
It's pretty dark here now, boys. Lights aren't on yet.
No, that's a good call, actually.
So Geared now. Back pocket. Long and strong. Gunther down. It's picked up by Roberts. They'll just navigate the boundary nicely. Daly, a beautiful kick for Webb. He hands over to Rowbottom. He was the fire starter today. Can he just cap it off? He looks towards the goal. Kicks in the Bester direction. Not gathered. Bester out of the air. That's magnificent. What a way to put the full stop on an outstanding comeback. Bailey Bester. And the Pies will play North Lonnie.
What a goal.
I can't believe what we've seen.
He can't do a thing wrong. Rowbottom, I thought he might have been able to run in a bit closer and kick his fifth, but he just drove it long. And Bester, he wasn't in the favourable position, it's got to be said, in the one-on-one contest, but he just created spillage and hacked it out of mid-air. Everything going right from the Glenorchy Footy Club in the second half. We're actually going to do it on the bit, boys. 14 points.
They're home.
Unbelievable stuff. Glenorchy have turned this around like you would not believe. 30-odd points down, now lead it. A good mark taken by Daniel Joseph, who's been magnificent again. That kick goes over the head of Paul Freeman. Ball still alive here for Launceston. Can't be long left in this one. Tyrrell with the footy. And umpire's blowing the whistle.
Paul Freeman free kick.
Yeah, going to be a free kick to Paul Freeman.
And 50 metres as well to go with it. So you'd think time is up now.
Even if time is up, why are you getting yourself in that position if you're Camrick? Just a silly mistake to make.
13-10, 88, 10-14, 74. 30 minutes gone, almost 31 minutes gone. Paul Freeman, and there it is! Glenorchy have done the unthinkable. 30 points down, have fought back and won this by 14 to set up a date with North Launceston next week for a place in the TSL Grand Final of 2018.
Well, that's how to win how to win a finals game of footy, boys. Slam on 6 goals to your opponent and keep them goalless. Albeit they kicked 6 behinds Launceston, but that was stunning to watch. And in fairness, Glenorchy, we thought at half-time, boys, it was going to be a pretty hard task for them, just with one man down, and we've spoken about Jay Bowden. We wondered where the goals were going to come from, but they were just magnificent. Early on in the third quarter, even though Leadham got the first, I just thought they started to work hard. I thought they attacked the footy. They started to try and win the stoppages and the clearances. They started to win the ball on the outside, and they started to get reward for effort, didn't they? And it even came quite late in the contest when we wondered if not they were going to hit the front. And in the end, it was Vanderveld who gave away the 50-metre penalty. Webb got him in front. They kicked a couple of late goals, but full credit to them. That's a stunning victory.
It's an amazing win. And let's be honest, boys, at halftime we thought they were gone, shot, done and dusted. And a massive win for Glenorchy. They've come from absolutely nowhere to stun Launceston there. And Sam Lonigan and Launceston are going to be bitterly disappointed. They had this game in their control, 20-point lead at three-quarter time. And Glenorchy, who had just hung around for the duration of the third quarter and even the second, they were just there in reaching distance and had a terrific quarter. It's the only way to say it. It was one-way traffic, and Glenorchy it was a pure showcase of finals footy. And the brilliant thing for the Pies is how many of their young stars were a part of it. Some of those youngsters stood tall and got them home. Magnificent win.
It's great to see the Lonnie boys as they leave the field getting around Jay Bowden too, who's standing there on crutches. So magnificent to see after a tough loss that they've still got time to go and say good day to Jay.
Well, he becomes a story, doesn't he?
Big time.
What is his injury? How significant is it? Will we see him next week? Will we see him again this season at all?
Gee, you've got to be proud if you're a Glenorchy supporter and the coach Paul Kennedy, because they looked at. We just thought it was going to be a bit of a struggle for them, and in particular, halfway through the second quarter, boys, I reckon they only had one goal, and we thought, gee, where's it going to come from? And in the end, they just manufactured, and they had some unlikely goal scorers. Brodie Rowbottom, we spoke about him, 4 goals. I thought he was terrific. Bailey Bester kicked 2 goals, also had a really important block, which allowed Geard, I think it was, to run into the open goal. So Banks Smith bobbed up for a couple of goals in the third quarter. Joseph Lake, the captain, kicked one as well. Roberts, I thought, played well too, boys. They just had so many players that played their role, and that'll give them enormous confidence because they're going up against the champs next week in North Launceston, but they know if they can just hang in there, if they can reward themselves with effort and compete, do all the things that make great sides, and that's often the defensive aspects of the game. That's where you often leverage out of the back of a really good result, and that's what it was for mine in the second half. They just lifted their work rate, Gilly, and they hung in there, and Launceston, unfortunately for them, from half-time, just the 2 goals, and in what really it just seemed to be that the game was at their keeping at half-time, they just couldn't get their hands on the footy in the last quarter, and Glenorchy in particular, they started to hurt them on the spread, but they also started to hurt them in the air, and lots of one-on-one contests were won by them or neutralised from a Glenorchy footy club perspective. So, look, that's a bit of blow for Launceston and Sam Lonergan. He'd be bitterly disappointed when he goes to speaks to his charges in a couple of minutes.
They do live to fight another day, though, Launceston. That's the key thing out of today. For Glenorchy on the other side, they did it without a lot of their key movers, and they'll come back into the team. And also we saw Zach Webster in the game before, so they should be stronger for the run. But a bloke like Brodie Rowbottom that comes in, probably was no chance to get a game this final series, you would have thought, if everyone was fit. He comes in and he was nearly the match winner.
Well, with 4 goals, the leading goal scorer on the ground, and he had an assist towards the end there with young Bester. So the difficult thing, yes, they're going to lose Jay Bowden, you would think, unless there's a minor miracle there. But you mentioned the players that will come back into that team, and it's possibly 3, isn't it? Webster would potentially come back in after a game today at Mercury Cup level. Who else would come into that? Reece Mott, Grant will come back into the team. So the difficult
and
thing,
French.
I think, if you're Paul Kennedy, is Bowden will be potentially a player that goes out, but who do you drop out of that team? Because
That's it.
Like Atkin, I thought was one of the better games I've seen him play at this level today. I thought he hung in there really well, and we've mentioned some of the lesser lights for Glenorchy, and that just gives that team a tremendous amount of confidence going into next week. From a Launceston perspective, you mentioned Gilly too, they've got the double chance, so you just got to regroup. They're always going to have to do it the hard way potentially, and now for them, they know though that their best is pretty close. They ran North Launceston to a couple of points, which sort of got their season back on track a little bit, but they'd be bitterly disappointed. But they'll regroup, they'll have a look at this tape, and they'll probably hang around now. The players will probably go back on the bus, you would have thought, Gilly, but maybe the coaches will stick around and see this game now between Clarence and Lauderdale and have a fair bit of time to assess how things have gone for them today, but also about their potential opponents in 2 or 3 hours' time.
Just on Brodie Rowbottom too, I'm pretty sure my memory serves me correct to say he was the hard luck story of the 2016 grand final. I think he got dropped for that game, so great to see him come in today and dominate. Let's have a quick look at the goal kickers for this afternoon. Brodie Rowbottom, that man, led the way with 4. 2 goals to Bailey Bester and Ryan Banks-Smith, and singles to Camrick, Geard, Roberts, Braden Webb and Daniel Joseph. And for Launceston, 2 goals each to Mitch Thorpe and Jake Smith, and singles to Dylan Riley, Chase Jones, Joby Harper, Brody Paulfreman, Hamish Leadham and Ethan Jackson.
So that's the first game in a football finals feast here at Blundstone Arena. First game won and done, and what a beauty it was. A terrific win by the Glenorchy Magpies. Coming up is Clarence and Lauderdale here from Blundstone Arena. Stay with us. There's a fresh stream link. Head to TSL Facebook page for all the details. We'll be back soon.